Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Pro Crastinators podcast. It's me, Best. We've also got Worst, a.k.a. Ben.
No.
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Shut the fuck up. That's wrong.
Well, you're actually everybody's favorite.
You're spreading wrong information. That's
They
illegal.
call me the father of lies for just this reason. We've got Endless Jess over here.
Yeah, we've got the best guy, we've got the worst guy, and we've got the medium guy.
Everyone's most electrifying character. We've got Tom Oliver.
Hello, I'm here, the medium rare guy. That's
Oh,
me.
no, there we go. And we've got Digi Bro.
Everybody, we got such a big show for you this week. There's so much news in the world of capitalism and communism. There's so many political things happening. There's
I got a
politicals
list
coming out of my eyeballs.
Good.
Well, before we get to all that,
gang.
before we get to all that juicy capitalism, communism stuff that everybody loves, let's take it back. Let's go old school and be mad about a comment.
Okay. Sure.
I
Excellent.
just saw
Let's do
this.
it.
I just saw this come up in my notifications as I was, getting ready to do this from last week's show. Now, most of the comments last week were shitting on Ben, which is fine, but this comment is shitting on me, which is not fine at all.
A lot of angry centrists last week.
Oh, I hate them. Pick a side, cowards. Okay, yeah.
But this villain decided that he didn't like me, and so there was one point when we were talking about Nate's dog.
Oh, this one, yeah, okay,
when I said something,
you were cruelly and viciously roasting my perfectly proportioned corgi dog, who's half corgi. It makes sense. Yes, I remember.
And I said something ridiculous like,
on his birthday, dare I say? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, it was his birthday.
Never let us forget.
I just threw out there like, it doesn't matter. Everyone knows that a dog being fat has no negative impact on its health whatsoever.
Of course.
Obvious sarcasm that everybody understood in the entire world. Except for this one commenter who's like, stupidest comment of the podcast definitely goes to Jesse. Why does it matter if a dog is fat? It doesn't affect it in any way. In parentheses, paraphrased. So
Thanks.
So I responded to him, and I just said, I know, right? That's almost as stupid as not being able to detect sarcasm.
That was a good one.
And then just now, 18 minutes ago, he responded to my response. And he turned so vicious.
He goes, he's like a mad dog, you might say.
Yeah, a mad fat dog. He goes,
impotent. Yeah.
Don't try to save face, dude. Oh my God. You may be funny, but you're not intelligent. Your theory, finger quotes, of anarcho-communism is actually nonsensical, and not even a political theory, you ignoramus. Learn some philosophy and come back with a systematic approach to politics that isn't just an assertion of facts, but based on actual proof.
All right. We've gone astray a couple of
talking about anarcho-communism?
He's
rebutted by anarcho-communism.
He's either confused you for me, or he's misquoted anarcho-communism
this
as
is fucking happening
anarcho-fascism.
all the fucking time. I know our voices on the PCP are somewhat similar, but for fuck's sake, if you're gonna have opinions about us, figure out who we are.
We have implemented visuals.
Yes,
we do.
He's just offering.
Watch the clip where you heard us talk. Look at whose fucking icon is flashing. Figure out who that guy is. I'm so sick of people telling me about my opinions on things that are Nate's opinions on things. God damn it!
We work our fingers to the bone, whipping Oblivion Fall to make him give the visual indicators.
We're working day and night to whip up these opinions for you, and
just to have you mix them all up in a food
just as
processor.
The people, just as you make whipped cream by taking cream and whipping it really fast, you take normal, like, decent political discourse and you whip it really fast and you turn it into a delicious topping of comedy that you can put on top of anything. But it's just pearls before swine, I guess. There's no.
I don't think that
appreciation.
I don't think he's mixing us up. I think
he's just.
I think he's just a fool.
I think he has just misspoken and was talking about the anarcho-fascism thing.
If you took that exact quote and just replaced it with anarcho-fascism or whatever, like then I would understand. So I think it is simply Occam's razor. I think he simply made a mistake.
Like, he's simply trying to break down the capitalistic allegory of the overbloated dog.
Like,
everybody knows about that theory.
Yes,
it's
guys,
so common.
Yes, people, anarcho-fascism is obviously absurd. It's called anarcho-fascism.
It's funny because the other definition is equally absurd.
Yeah, well, like the definition that I found was like some weird racist shit.
Well, it's fascism.
I don't think... I looked up the definition of fascism just to be sure, and whoever said it, Mussolini or something, didn't bring up racism, so I'm assuming that Mussolini's a pretty smart guy about most things.
I would also defer. I would also defer to Mussolini on most issues.
I don't know.
I mean, he's probably one of the experts.
I don't know. Maybe it needs a different name, like anarcho-tyranny or something. I don't know. But the whole point of it is to be absurd and like to argue with people and convince myself of it, which is even more funny because when I start arguing and articulating, I can almost believe it, and I go, cool, this is stupid.
Did we mention on the PCP
it's
that
not
time,
anarcho-communism.
Did we mention on the show the time that Jim Carrey was like shitting on Mussolini on Twitter, and then Mussolini's like granddaughter came and like was calling him a piece of shit? That was crazy.
That was fucking hilarious.
Just reminding everybody that happened.
What he did, and like this is kind of understandable. What Jim Carrey actually did was, Jim Carrey's gotten into art and painting and stuff. What he did was he painted a picture of Mussolini, and I think it was his wife or his current lady or whatever it was. And he painted them being hung from their feet after being assassinated or whatever. And, Mussolini's granddaughter was like, this is pretty fucked up. And, of course you understand both sides. Not a big fan of Mussolini, most people. Yeah. Also, his literal granddaughter's probably going to have some feelings.
Yeah. I mean,
that was what made it so
big. I don't know if if I was Mussolini's granddaughter, I don't know if I'd really want to, be out there on social media, sticking my neck out, dying on the hill of, let's defend my grandfather's honor.
It takes balls to defend your family when your family is Mussolini.
Yeah. It does. It does. I would want to be in the camp of, hey, I'm not like my grandfather. I'm a cool Mussolini.
I'm taking it back.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if I agree with. I don't know if I agree with her tactic on this one.
Well, fuck her. She didn't make Ace Ventura.
Got to make Mussolini great again.
Hey, you know what I did recently? I watched The Babadook, and I've got to say, it was a cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah.
And I was, in fact, Babadook spooked consistently the whole time.
It's such a Babadook spooky movie.
What more can you ask for?
You could say it's the original.
There was really an amazing arc in that movie. I guess slight spoilers for people, but it was just Nate Movie Guy weighing in once again on the new movie he saw. It starts off with this mother and child who are, the kid is this weird, hyperactive, possibly kind of a genius, but he creates all kinds of problems. He makes all these weird tactics and stratagems to fuck up his mom's life and make her miserable because he's too hyperactive and their dad died or something. And he starts the movie as the clear villain, but by the end he becomes like the Macaulay Culkin fucking trap genius fighting against a literal demon attempting to murder his mom and himself. And I was Team Kid. I did not expect to be, but Kid proved to be such a fucking badass in that movie, and it was great. And then they make peace with the demon in the basement, and he just lives there now. And they feed him worms to placate his rage. I guess it's like a metaphor.
It's the best interpretation of that movie I've ever heard. I mean, most people try to go nerd writer about it and be like, The Babadook is a metaphor for depression, and we see at the end she's learned to lock her depression up. She can never truly get rid of it, but she's learned to. And you're just over there then they become friends with the Babadook, and he lives in the basement. It's fucking dope, man.
I know writers who've used subtext. They're all cowards.
Sometimes the surface level is the only level. That's my motto. In fact, that's mostly the case. Anyway, it was great, and very much enjoyed it. Recommend it to everyone. The Babadooks are great. And also check out, what was it, Jesse's Dark Souls 2 videos where you're the Babadook.
Check out the Babadook and its sequel.
Oh, yeah,
Dark
the
Souls
continuing
2.
adventures of the Babadook in the Babadook.
There's so many chapters of that saga now. It's gone from Dark Souls 2 to Dark Souls 1 to Dark Souls 3, back to Dark Souls 1 remastered. The Babadook spook's been everywhere.
What channel is that on again? I forget which of your channels that's on.
I upload them all on the Blue Glow. They're all unlisted because most of them are Patreon exclusives.
Oh, I see. Okay.
What I'm doing with the Blue Glow is that I'm just like stockpiling unlisted videos until I have enough to like release a video every week for the rest of time.
Nice.
That's a
promised land.
It's a good
truly.
method of doing that, actually. Because like I've had many times where I tried to be like, all right, I'm gonna fucking schedule a video to come out every week forever. But I have to make like 52 videos initially, to cover the whole year. And so I will set about trying to do that and make like 10, and then I'll have 10 weeks of videos, and it's great. But like releasing them to just patrons is a better way of going about it, because then you're still making money off of it.
Someday I will come out and be like, hey, everybody, guess what? The Blue Glow is every fucking week now, and everyone will love me. And everyone will finally get to see the entire saga of Babadook Spook. But until then, patreon.com/endlessjess.
Yes, where I have already kept up with the saga of Babadook Spook.
You just have to keep playing Dark Souls forever, because that way no one will ever realize that they've all been made 10 years ago. It's like, why is he playing 10-year-old games? Like, because it's Dark Souls, duh.
You can mod yourself. You can mod the Babadook into perhaps... Well, Bloodborne, I'm sure there's some Babadook Spook stuff you could do. In Sekiro, you could definitely mod in some Babadook.
You see the mod the guy made for Bloodborne where you can control the enemies and play as all the enemy characters?
No, that sounds sick.
Yeah, it keeps popping up on Twitter. It looks fucking rad.
Apparently,
like the way the debug mode in Bloodborne was designed is that all the enemies work like playable characters. So he just like brought that to the forefront, so you can just play as enemies in the game.
Does that include bosses by any chance?
I don't know, but I would assume so.
I want to play as the One Reborn and lumber around and like puke on enemies and shit. That would
fucking
be
sick.
Yeah. People are going to be like, hey, why are Jess and Digi playing Tomb Raider fucking and talking about Rad-Con 2?
We're just reminiscing, that's all. Wink, wink.
Jesse, we lost like all that Luigi footage, right?
I have the files, but I like cannot get them converted on any program. They're like just a weird file type that I can't get to work anywhere.
It's fucking mega unfortunate. We have like 20 hours of us playing fucking new Super Luigi Bros that like for some reason cannot
Someday
work.
The world will see them. I'm dedicated to it.
It's like how you have to put a person who has like terminal cancer into cryostasis until the technology exists to save them in 1,000 years. The same
Man,
thing
speaking of computers messing up my entire life by not working properly and file types being weird, I spent like all of this month, because I finally got my computer like set up in my nice cozy little office, and so I was working on a big like a vlog project video. It was going to be like a classic Endless Jest style video where it starts as just a weird bit and a vlog, and then it spirals out of control into some complex 3-hour nightmare that nobody should ever want to watch. And I was filming it all month for my friendly patrons, and I can't do it now because like something about the file, I filmed it on the webcam of my laptop, all of it, and something about the file, when it's in Sony Vegas immediately crashes every time I open it. And like, it'll let me work on it for like 5 minutes, and then it'll crash, and it's just like, okay, video's not that good, I give up, fuck it. Sorry,
I'm just going to throw
everybody.
this out here, because I recently, after years and years of Unisony Vegas, I discovered, if maybe this is something similar, that if I simply put too many MOV files in one Sony Vegas project, the whole thing simply stops working and will eventually, I think it crashes. So maybe you have too many MOV files?
That's
I don't know.
Who knows?
Hey, give it a try. Maybe it's
I also would just recommend handbraking
all to MP4. Just
I tried Handbrake. Like, I turned them all into MP4s to get them to play. Okay. But even then, they're like bad MP4s. They just kill it.
I've had issues like this in Vegas.
Vegas is fucking terrible.
I know everybody just uses Vegas because I recommended it way back because that was what I used. But everybody's always like, "Why do you use Vegas? It's fucking terrible. Go learn Premiere." And I'm like, "But it looks hard."
It does look hard.
It is hard. I used it just the other day.
It's not that hard.
okay, it's not that hard. Okay, specifically with
Nate,
Premiere.
I thought you were a Premiere user. I didn't know you were using Vegas.
I have used it here and there.
I've
in
seen
fact,
you
just
do
the other
things
day.
that I didn't think you could do in Vegas.
Well, that is true, but like I've just kind of gotten lazy. I've always meant to transition to Premiere like long term. I just never summoned the testicular fortitude to put in the effort to make the transition. Yeah. But like I used it for a good long time back in the day when I don't know, I think T-Bap stuff. But like I would just the other day, all right, I was doing a little fucking around in Premiere trying to do something, and I was just trying to like copy a section, and it was like okay, I drop in a track, I cut it at a certain point, that's reasonably easy to do, but to try to copy one section of footage proved impossible. I could not figure out how to do it other than to like I cut off the section I wanted, I moved it aside in the track, then I like re-dragged out the piece that I had cut off from the original piece, cut it again, and then like dragged it over so I could work with like the second piece.
Like,
Control C, Control V? What?
I tried Control C. I'm pretty sure I tried that. I don't know. Maybe I fucked up.
I'm pretty sure that works. I'm pretty sure that
Tom
works.
Tom is giving you the scoffest scoff I have ever heard.
I'll give you another thing.
I'm just very confused.
I know that this
I haven't used the new version
of
Premiere, so maybe they changed it. I mean, that's an Adobe thing to do. To just they changed all their hotkeys in like last year, and everyone was pissed. So
here's something that Vegas can do and is unironically superior to what Premiere does, and it's that if you've got two video files in Vegas on the same video track and you drag to overlap them, Premiere just doesn't let you. And it's like kind of annoying and it sucks. What Vegas will do is instantly overlap them and fade between them automatically. Now that is convenient. Premiere just doesn't do that, and it sucks.
That's insane that it doesn't do that.
You have to like manually create a fade on both tracks and put one on a separate.
We gotta stop talking.
I
about
don't understand any program.
Know what the fuck we're talking
it's
about.
Fine. It's the same horrid fear that I have every time that I'm looking at my desktop and I think I'm gonna try to make a dope rap beat on Fruity Loops, and I open it up and I look at it and I go, no. This isn't a real This is not a real program. No one actually uses this. I don't believe it. This is bullshit. It's like looking at a system of like steamwork pipes and like organs like controlled by instruments and shit.
Fruity Loops is one of the least like intuitive to look at out of the box programs I've ever seen, and like the only reason I figured out how to use it is that I watched my brother Shade do it. But I'm also retarded with programs. Like fucking May has been using Vegas for a while, and she's planning to start using Premiere on her new laptop. But like,
Smart.
But like, she found things that you could do that I have been using this program for 7 fucking years. I didn't know like basic things that she figured out it could do. So I'm just like, okay, well, because I don't think about. And I know, Tom, you're a tech guy, and you said something that kind of blew my mind one time when you were like, yeah, like if there's a problem that I run into in tech, I assume that there's a solution and try to find the solution. Right. Like, and then like give up if I can't find it. Like my methodology has always been I just work with what I know to work. Like I don't go and say, oh, I want to do this, let me figure out how. I go, what can I do that I know how to do, and then I do that,
It's interesting how these thought processes, if you look at our videos, they're informed by these thought processes and our approach. Very, very simplistic stuff.
I mean, I will throw, like, if I can't figure out how to do something, like, if I do have, on the rare occasion I have, like, an idea, if I can't figure out how to do it in, like, 10 minutes, I throw it away. I'm just like, fuck it, Like,
it's also, like, it's lazier, but it's also funnier to do it bad at this point.
True. That's
so, like,
true.
I worked for so many years to, like, learn how to do things right and how to edit well, and then, like, now I look at it and I'm like, yeah, but it's funnier if I edit poorly, so I just, like, throw shit.
Yeah.
I literally prefer poorly edited, like, goofy things, because they seem self-aware and cute and charming, as opposed to, like, visual effects artistry.
But there is, like...
which looks phony. Uncanny Valley shit.
There is, like, no beat-making programs that I will ever understand. The only good one, the classic program that I used to make all my great music and rap beats on, was a program called Magic's Music Maker 16. And it's where I made the Butt Chugger beat and the Reapers beat and all those classic tunes that everyone loves. And it was like, it's like considered by people a bad program because it's not like, I don't know, I guess you can't do all the fancy like actual producer shit, but all it was, it's just like a shitload of genres and samples from like every conceivable genre of music, and you just click and drag the samples and build them on top of each other and build what you want. It's like Legos. It's like musical Legos.
That's exactly what the on Macs they have something called GarageBand that like often just comes with new Macs, and it's exactly like that.
It was
I
so
used the shit
intuitive
out of that when I was a teenager.
and so fucking easy to use, and I made beats on it that people remember and love. Everybody loves the butt chugger beat. Everybody loves Reapers, and so like I've always wanted to like recapture that magic, but like the program is so old that it doesn't work on like new computers. I've gone back on Amazon and like I've bought the program again on a disc and tried to get it to install on my new computer, and like it just doesn't work right. It always is fucked up now, so I have to use Fruity Loops, which doesn't work, so I give up. That's a talent that I no longer have, I guess, because they took away my Legos.
Now like, oh god, these are Roblox. It's just not the same.
Yeah.
Wait,
Nate,
isn't
have you seen
Roblox
this
a
video?
game?
Maybe. I don't fucking know. Diplo blocks something. Those big ones.
Isn't
ones that
Diplo a
suck.
musician?
Lego Duplo?
Duplo.
Yeah, that's the one. That's
Or
the
Lego
one.
Technics or Mega Blocks?
Mega
Or
Bloks.
Playmobil.
That's more like it.
Hey, speaking of Mega Blocks,
Bionicle.
Oh, dude.
Speaking of Bionicle, you know what we should do? Buy Greenland. This is a proposal that we should 100% as a nation do.
Don't we
'cause
already
it sounds
own
dope
Greenland?
as shit. Nah, Denmark owns it. Denmark
we already own
owns
the
it.
entire world. The rest of the world just doesn't realize
I
it
thought
yet.
we were going to sell Greenland to Denmark.
Quite the contrary. I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm just saying we should definitely do it because it sounds sick.
Yeah, it
and
does
Greenland
sound
is
sick.
really big.
I saw Trump tweeted that Denmark lady didn't want to do it.
Very true, but we
Didn't
gotta
the
put
Denmark
the
lady
squeeze
said
on
they
her
do,
somehow.
she doesn't even have the authority to do that? I don't know. I did not look into this.
It's real estate.
I was
It
too
could
busy
theoretically-
responding to
It's
some
free
idiot on
real
Twitter
estate.
to pay
It's
attention
free
to this.
real estate. If we invade with the military, it'll basically be free real estate.
We can make it
memes
free.
aside, is there a reason we actually would want Greenland?
Maybe?
All I know-
Okay, like
Literally, all I know
one-
about Greenland is that everyone kills themselves there.
One, it's sick. Okay, two, there's some bullshit about like the ice is thawing and it might improve shipping routes. I don't care about that shit. I just want to buy fucking Greenland. It would be sick.
Wait,
I could go
so
there.
are you saying that we want it because like the like
it's dope.
global warming has made it a better place? Like, is
Well,
that
not
what we're-
now, but the theory is that in time that will do so.
Isn't the
hilarious.
North
So,
Pole?
yes.
Greenland is like kind of the North Pole because the actual North
it's
Pole
close.
you can't stand there because it's water and ice.
Something like that, yeah.
But
yeah, it's real.
the
real
Greenland,
cool.
the northernmost point of Greenland is like where Santa probably hangs out.
Oh,
I hope
if
so.
we control Christmas, we control the world.
That's what he's doing.
Exactly, it's tactically beneficial.
The
We've gotta
thought
do
that
it.
like Santa would reside in the country with like the highest suicide rate in the world is really sad.
Why do you think he
Yeah.
does Christmas? It's to keep him from offing himself. He has to give
Well,
himself purpose.
He's probably like one of those like evil horror movie Santas, like Rare Exports or the Bill Goldberg one. Santa's sleigh,
Futurama
and
Santa
sleigh
from
is spelled
Futurama.
S-L-A-Y.
Yes.
Nate, I saw this video the other day. Have you seen this? It's a video about Tifa, and it's
Okay.
by some like it's like a real lefty boy who clearly
Okay,
has
sure.
never played a video game in his fucking life.
Too bad, but okay.
It's the video's called "The Outrage is About Control, Not Breasts," and
Okay.
it's a 20-minute video of him like calling everybody incels and not understanding shit about fuck.
Of course.
And he like rambles about like institutionalized racism for like 10 minutes, which has nothing to fucking do with
Is that
anything.
like because of Barrett or something? Is that
No,
I don't
he
know,
just
whatever.
has no idea what he's taught. He's just like
Okay,
spewing the
okay.
talking points that he knows in relation to every single topic, even when it has nothing to do with them.
You and I just aren't the target audience because we
Yeah,
actually played
but
the
the
game.
reason
and
I
we've-
bring it up
yeah.
is because right in the beginning of the video, he uses your tweet as an example of like stupid incels on the internet.
You know, quite a few people used my initial tweet about like I think I was pretty extreme, but I was like extremely disappointed about them nerfing Tifa and
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
He has
which
like
but,
your
you know.
tweet next to a bunch of like clips, like a bunch of images from 4chan of people saying like we should mass murder Square Enix. And
Oh yeah, that's
yeah, and yours is right in the middle of those.
I'm in good company, boys. I'm the I'm the crypto fascist to their full on fascist.
Oh
it feels
God,
good.
that I'm glad that we're bringing that up. Somebody told me in my Discord that that their friends were like, oh, Digibro, that guy is a crypto fascist, and I was like, what in the name of fuck is that? And where do I sign up to be one? Because it sounds awesome.
Sick.
It sounds like the coolest thing to be.
It's not as cool as you think.
No,
right,
apparently it just means
cool. It's actually worse than it's actually lamer than a regular fascist.
Because
and
it's just
even,
a
and not
fascist
cooler
who,
like crypto sounds.
I guess like sends subliminal messages out to people.
Yeah, Ben, tell me, is a
I just every time I hear
it's
crypto
just you're a
fascist
fascist who won't admit it.
Okay,
it just to me sounds like a fascist who's really into Bitcoin is like waiting for the market to swing up again.
You would hope so.
I think
they could be as well.
I think they just like to put crypto on things now. Like crypto is one of those.
He's just like he's a hardcore fascist for Bitcoin. It's like fuck Ethereum. That shit is gay. None of that lefty ETH in my presence. Bitcoin Cash only.
Here's the thing: it's that punk as a suffix is no longer interesting. Like nobody cares about being punk anymore. Everybody wants to be crypto.
What if you're a
crypto
punk?
Into the internet. So you have to be. Oh my
you
god,
wanna be
CryptoPunk! My mind is fucking blown.
CryptoPunk,
CryptoPunk, dude.
Hell yeah.
CryptoPunk would be like a. I don't know, like a business guy who wears like a suit and stuff, but then like he's like secretly he's like a revolutionary or something.
Like
he's like secretly in a rock band.
He's wearing like a suit coat, but underneath it, it's like a T-shirt with an alien giving the peace sign and like smoking a fat doob. And he's got like a bandana around his head.
He like wears a suit all day, but like he has like sleeves all the way down like his arms. He just hides them with his suit. He's like CryptoPunk. Happening, real, trademarked.
Kind of neat.
To that guy in that video, I mean, you know, I totally understand on a surface level why people complaining about a minor character detail being changed seems superfluous and unnecessary. I get it. I expected fully people like on the video I made about it to like not care and think I'm an incel and a dumbass. That's fine. But I don't know. It's just that they don't care, and I do. And
he's taking a very specific outrage, and he's applying it to his idea of the world. And like he's clearly not a guy who fucking like loved this game and doesn't understand that like people just don't want shit changed. People don't like remakes. That's like
this is my main point.
What's the more believable answer? That everyone, whether they know it or not, is secretly hates women and doesn't want like the power to balance in the direction of women, or that people just don't like remakes and don't want shit changed.
Right.
I mean, you'd think people wouldn't be... Well, okay, I was going to say people wouldn't like Tifa because she is literally a strong, independent woman. But she does spend a lot of the game fawning on Cloud, to be fair.
Yeah, but I hate the notion that is not a strong female character.
I mean, that's very true.
Like, a strong female character nowadays is basically a strong male character. Like, they can't do anything traditionally female at all. They can't...
It does raise the question of what is a feminine way to be as opposed to a masculine way to be, and I'm not sure what the lines are.
It just feels like an overcorrection in general. You know,
like, men and women are different, and certain feminine traits can also be strong and cool. They're not, like, abnormal, but these... When people want, like, strong female characters to not have any flaws, it's like they're overcorrecting to such a degree that they're making the character weird and unrelatable because they're not acting like a fucking woman.
I mean, true. Now, none of this necessarily applies to Tifa because we haven't played the game, but, you know, these are the general concerns of people. Hey, what can you do?
She has to get pregnant and have a baby and like have
raise it
spend the whole game with like one of those like front backpacks that hold your baby in it and like fight every battle.
Yeah, and she has to be a single mother protecting her baby. She has to give birth to it without screaming or crying at all. Just totally stoic.
That's too traditionally feminine. She also has to be a techno billionaire.
I don't
she
think
also has
modern,
to like found a startup corporation.
Yeah. I don't think like much modern feminism angle usually paints like even the character as a mother. I think like motherhood is seen as like she has to be a mom
it's
just
very
because she's
stereotypical.
a woman. It's like
agreed. The whole mom thing.
Well, on the opposite side of
being a mom is cliche now
in modern culture.
On the opposite
side, you know, there's. I don't know if I said this before, but there's this one extremely hilarious lefty tweet I saw that I actually thought was incredible from, I don't know, some girl, I don't remember her name, and she was just like, mother gives birth to female child, father. I just feel like it's kind of pandering to have these like female children. It's just like really playing into the it's an overcorrection at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Why did it have to be a female? Why did you have to make this political?
Well, on the opposite side of
this
the
baby
insane
is
people,
SJW propaganda.
on the other side of the insane people who take everything too seriously, I also found like the opposite of that video, and it was like it was
probably like the quartering or something.
It was like a real right wing guy, I guess.
Yeah.
He was the channel was called Black Pilled, so that should tell you how he feels about most things.
Talking.
He was talking about the
Understood.
He was talking about the movie The Stepford Wives and how it was made by Jews and it's secretly propaganda to make women not want to be housewives and manufacture unhappiness in the American female and all that stuff. And he's like, and he's just like every single thing that happens in the movie, he's going through how it like is propaganda to make women unhappy and think they have to rise up against men or hate men or something. But like it was equally hilarious because like even if like I don't know, like 1 in every 5 points is coherent, but like he was so angry about it. He was so disgusted by this old horror movie. That's just,
I, for one, am glad that the Jews are manufacturing discontent among women, since it's our main cultural export.
It's never been more profitable.
It's our bread and butter.
I mean, like, I don't know. Even if it was true and I agreed with every word of it, I mean, if making propaganda to make women unhappy results in, like, cool old horror movies, then go right the fuck ahead.
Yeah, pretty much. If making women unhappy is wrong, I don't want to be right. That's all there is to it.
If sowing discord between the sexes and destabilizing society is wrong,
the
I don't
thing
want to
about
be
that,
right.
That guy's argument, just going by what you presented just now, is like obviously the movie is born out of the fact that like there are some women who feel like pressured to be this way, and they want to present that, like the horror of that. Like to suggest that it's like a weird Jewish propaganda, it's like no, it's just relatable. Like,
yeah, I mean, like,
isn't that
he
obvious?
would probably say
that
about any movie that he doesn't like.
Right.
I do believe that everything is propaganda to destroy society. I'm just smart enough not to say the word Jew, because that's how you get in trouble. We all know what I mean, but I just don't say it.
You gotta be like JonTron and say global elites.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way.
We all know that all kinds of parenthesis people make movies,
Yeah.
Man, that
I
sounds
mean,
like
I'm probably
shit to me.
It case
Oh,
closed.
yeah, that's real. That guy's a total crypto-fascist. Those
guess that would be-
crypto-fascist
that-
black pillars.
That would be crypto-fascism, right? Like the
Yeah, I mean, like, he didn't...
Endless Jest, the crypto-anarcho-fascist over here.
I'm just everything. Just keep tacking on words. Keep tacking on labels until I have encompassed all labels, and that's how I'll finally destroy labels once and for all.
Crypto, eco, anarcha...
Feminist, MGTOW.
When everyone is every label, nobody is any
red
label.
pills, black pills, blue pills, more pills in your body.
I'm just the fucking pill bottle over here. I hold them all.
Yeah, the guy didn't come off like totally retarded or stupid or anything, but like just the fact that he was so into this and so mad about it was the funny part.
It's this just reminds me. It pretty much whenever we look at any media we consume through our own particular lens, and it's just natural that we get out of it the things that we want to. I don't know, it's interesting to note, like, the way that I watched Gurren Lagann compared to those guys I talked about last time. They got a totally different message, and everyone's going to be like that with everything. I see the Babadook, and I see, yes, I do hate children, and then it turns around and it says, wait, children can be good. And I'm like, well, now I'm just confused. I don't know what I'm supposed to believe anymore.
Speaking of the Shonen Ronin, I like how he bombed into our comment section on the last episode to say that Ben was right about everything and we were all retarded.
Yes, the lone Ben head.
And I'm assuming Ben logged into the TPC account and favorited the comment because it has a heart on it.
I just happen to be logged in.
Oh yeah, okay.
The only comment with a heart on it.
He said.
I will say.
He said someone called the why you one of the I forget which of the two like Lefty Gurren videos, but he said someone called it Ben St. Core, and it was the highest compliment that they could receive, and he was correct.
I actually
what's up, Shonen Ronin?
That's cool. I don't think this is like a secret or anything, but I know. Remember that guy at the Hunter x Hunter 2011 Dick Riding Association guy?
That guy is like the biggest lefty meme dude in the world.
That person is I think one of the people working on the Shonen Run. It's like a team of people or something.
Right.
So there's a little bit of info for you. And by the way, I commented on their video. Like the second one sounded particularly aggressive and mean towards me, and I just in a cordial way just posted like, "Hey guys, just so you know, I'm not actually like an anarcho-capitalist. I don't believe in these things, but it's okay. We have different interpretations, and I wish you well. Good luck, everybody." And we just proceeded to have a very cordial discussion about this. So we're on good terms, me and the Shonen Ronin as a collective.
Shout out to Hunter x Hunter Dick Riding Association and Sword Art Online Dick Riding Association. Both very long time commenters who have been around.
One a pure capitalist,
forever.
one a pure communist. So there could be no peace between the two.
No.
Well, now what?
I'm gonna be fucking like onyx pilled. I need to invent a new pill for me, for my people.
fucking pilled.
You know what? Because people call themselves black pilled, but they're not really black pilled. They care too much. They're too mad about stuff. If you were truly
you have to take the iron pill. Did you ever read those iron pill comics?
I feel like I've seen the images, but I don't have them all memorized.
It's a pretty funny comic series called Take the Iron Pill about a guy who is like transcended above all the other pill guys.
That sounds cool.
Like
I want a little bit of that.
A weightlifter.
I want a little bit of the iron pill.
Was as big of a
it sounds like it's not those comics about like all the different countries like talking to each other.
Poland Ball?
That is exactly what it's like. It is exactly like that.
Poland Ball is one of them, but with pills.
Yeah,
I want to go to the pharmacist, and I just want to be like, hey, man, give me 2 iron pills, 1 black pill, half a red pill, and also some onyx pills, which haven't been invented yet, but get on it. And then I'll have the perfect brain. I
want to go to a pharmacy and request moods or feelings specifically, and just say like, hey, I'm looking for like 2/3 happiness, one contentedness, 3/4 rage and feminism.
It's like
that feeling.
It's like a replicator from Star Trek, except you stick your head in it and it zaps you with radiation to make you feel whatever you need.
That sounds great.
This should be possible, right? Like with current technology. Like
we have uppers and downers at the very outset.
We've got 60s drugs and 70s drugs and 80s drugs, and they all do different shit.
This is how you know when we've reached CryPTOPUNK, is when we can do this like easily over the counter.
That's definitely a CryPTOPUNK kind of thing.
I want to be a big drugs head.
Yeah, same. I don't know if it's just me being when I was young, I was legitimately scared of alcohol because it made my dad act goofy and weird, and I didn't understand what was going on. And so I was like spooked by it. And then later on, when I became an adult, I got more at peace with it. And I did my drinking for a while. And now I'm back in a place where I'm like, drinking is fine on occasion. It can be a loosening experience, but I just don't really need it like day to day. But like, I just don't like the idea of like taking chemicals to change me. But then I think, well, am I so perfect right now? Maybe drugs would improve this whole scheme I've got going on in here. I mean, why is my natural state necessarily the ideal or best one? It probably isn't, right?
I think about that a lot, and I always feel like anything that I accomplish with the use of substances is cheating.
But that's like saying that anyone who's like depressed and takes antidepressants is cheating.
Your whole brain is just made. Your whole brain is just made of
believe
chemicals.
that. I unironically believe that using antidepressants is cheating.
Well, you know what? This
and it's not the right way to think. It just is how I think.
I know what you mean. It's
that's
kind of
cool.
like
I don't understand. Aren't you fucking like all about transhumanism? Like, how can you reconcile these two things? Like,
because transhumanism is modifying your body with like machines and stuff, and it's like a conscious thing, like you're choosing to do that, whereas with drugs and stuff, it's altering your mind state, and you can't like you're not thinking
like in a
that I didn't expect you to make this distinction, Tom. This is interesting because like in Ghost in the Shell and whatnot, people just like install shit that makes them, first of all, they can like connect to the internet with their own brain and absorb info like really, really fast.
I think the thing about like substances and stuff specifically that I find weird is that like you're changing your mind state, right? And you're no longer like the thought processes of like the things that you're thinking and doing, they're not entirely 100% rooted in yourself.
But no, your
mental state at any given time is your mental state at any given time is just an output of like your chemical makeup.
Drugs do not change the way you think at all. Like it's not like that. I mean, it's
maybe
just
like booze can. I don't know.
It's just changing your perception of the way you think. It's just changing. Like
sure.
Okay, for instance, when I dropped acid, basically it was not difficult to understand what was happening, which is simply that on average you intake a ridiculous amount of sensory data. Like you're constantly intaking gallons and gallons of it, and your brain is sorting it all out and ignoring the vast majority of it. The only difference when you're on acid is that it does not sort those things the same way. Like you don't make the same distinctions between like what is valuable data and what isn't. So like if you're staring at a picture or something, your brain is so overwhelmed by the amount of data it's taking in that the picture starts moving because it can't quite fixate on it. You know, it's just getting too much information, you know? Sure. So it's not that your brain is thinking different necessarily. It's just that, you know, it's not fixating on the same thing it would always fix on, you know? And I don't think that you interpret what's happening that differently. Like, you know, I don't think that like the way I act or the things I say or think about when I'm high are any different from the stuff I would say or think about when I'm not. It's just that I'm more concentrated on it. You know, it's just like I want to be thinking because it's fun, because I'm, you know, really in my head and I'm thinking faster, or like it's like time dilates a little bit, you know, like the flow of time doesn't feel the same. So you might be sitting there for 10 minutes and have thoughts that feel like they've lasted an hour, you know, because you're just thinking faster than you normally would be. But like, again, it's not different thoughts. It's not like you're a different person. So to me, it just feels like, I mean, basically just modification. Like, I made a video called Metahumanism Began way back when I first got really into weed, where I was talking about how, like, you know, different strains of weed literally have different effects, and you can figure out what they are. And, like, if you want to calm yourself down, like, you can consistently take indica and just, you know what mind state it's going to put you in. So it's not like it's just taking agency away from you. I think people feel robbed of agency when they do drugs or drink alcohol because they don't understand what's happening. Like, they don't know why it's changing them. They don't understand the mechanism of it. They don't know exactly what the changes are. Once you know the changes, they're consistent. It's always the same thing. I can drink, and I always know how I'm going to act. I always know exactly what's going to happen because I've just observed the way I act when I get, like, different stages of drunk. You know, if I smoke an indica, I'm going to lay on the couch. I'm going to do nothing but watch anime and eat everything in the house. If I take a sativa, I'm going to start dropping black pills like bombs on Yokohama. I'm going to fucking have a billion thoughts in my head, and I'm going to want to write something, you know? And it's like, that's consistent. I can track it. That's why I think drugs are cool.
Well, okay, you know, that's all perfectly reasonable, and I fully admit I don't have a vast experience with drugs. I did a bunch of drinking, and I did some weed in college fairly regularly, and, like, my only experiences have been, across the board, are simply that, like, I've just lost the rest of the day. It might be really fun, but I can't do any work, and so, like, for me, most of my day, or whenever I'm like, should I just, like, get drunk this afternoon, which occasionally crosses my mind, it's like, well, no, because I've got things to do. So that would just interrupt that process.
Where do I get that new drug? What's it called? Happiness. Where's that? Who's
They're
selling
working on that one. I don't know.
Yeah, it hasn't been released yet. The trailers look sick, though.
I've been searching for it in every comment section on YouTube, but I haven't found it yet.
Nate, you might not be that into weed or alcohol, but have you ever considered just like taking Adderall or something?
Considered, sure.
Because it's like the few times I've done that.
Adderall is unironically the only good drug.
Adderall is, I mean, again, it has, all these drugs have different effects on different people, so, you know, consult your pharmacist before use. I'll be your pharmacist.
Yeah, I guess.
No, don't actually ask me about drugs. Just listen to my podcasts about them. Adderall makes, for me anyway, it makes me feel like really charged up. My skin starts tingling, and I'm like, I have to sweat. Like, I have to do something to sweat or else I'm going to catch on fire. so I'm gonna clean the entire house. Like every time I've done Adderall, it's just like bam, house gets cleaned, everything gets organized, everything gets put away, ready for work, like super focused.
Okay, Digi, I'm with you. This is perfectly reasonable, and I'm sure it could definitely have these effects. But when these types of things come up, I feel similarly to what Tom was saying before, and it's that, okay, let's say that like I'm able to be very productive with Adderall or whatever, and maybe I can even afford it. But like there could come a time where I don't have that Adderall, and what I worry about is that this artificial boost to my productivity or whatever falls away, and then I'm now at a reduced state of my natural...
Think of it like you're playing Mario Kart, and you got to get those mushrooms so you can go a little faster, you know? The mushroom is a one-time use item. You hit the mushroom and you go a little faster.
But did you when I play RPGs... I'm the kind of guy, when I play a JRPG, you have those single item use, like stat boosting items that you know are really good, but you save them for the entire game because you never know when you're going to actually, quote unquote, need them, and you end up being the final boss without ever using them once in the game.
I did that too, and like in a lot of games, there's trade-offs where, like, you know, in Pokemon, if you use a rare candy, it doesn't give you the same stat boost, right? Like it
like
fucks things up a little bit. So it's like, you know, that's like... There are some, you know, performance-enhancing drugs that have drawbacks. You're not really building the muscles in the natural way or whatever. It's not, you know, not building everything up correctly. But like I said, I think of it less as like it's not a permanent upgrade. You know, it's like hitting. Again, it's like hitting a mushroom. And I don't know why I keep saying hitting a mushroom because you would normally use a mushroom. And you know what I mean?
Oh wait, in Mario Kart. Oh, no, in the minecart ride in Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, you do in fact hit the mushroom and gives you a speed boost as opposed to you know.
You know, it's Mario weird. Kart. I've never like been dependent on any substance. I've never like become addicted to something. Like I get really drunk 3 times a year and I'm good. Yeah. And like I'll take like an Adderall when I can find one, which is almost never because nothing is available. Right. That's probably the trick.
I just know that I've been vaping THC all the time to help the pain of being a broken boy. And I have drunk before a bunch of times. And every time that happens, my mind just escapes me. And I hate the feeling intensely because I'll start having thoughts that I can't control. They come like 10 million miles a minute, and it's really annoying, and I hate it, and it's a terrible feeling.
You gotta manage it. It's like everything happens in a gradation, you know? Like, if you want to get high, if you just take like one hit, then you can measure the results of that. Take another hit, measure the results of that, you know, and like chart like, okay, here's this is how high I get off of 3 hits, and like what is the effect of that, you know? Like with beers, we talked about this extensively way back in the day, that the Dick Masterson 3 beers rule, that like if you drink exactly 3 beers, it gets you just in the right mood to be like upbeat and talkative and having a good time and like feeling the vibe of the room. But as soon as you hit the 4th beer, that's when it's like you start acting like a fucking idiot, you know? So it's like you just got to stay at that 3 beers level and manage
I don't have
that, you know?
I don't have that because I've tried the 3 beer rule before a few times, and usually,
well, if you're
like,
a lightweight, then 3 beers is probably too much.
I mean, even like one beer, like I can do 1 beer, okay, but like as soon as I hit 2, like when
my mind starts to wander.
I don't have that
focus.
Midpoint. I literally just shut down whenever I'm inebriated in any sort of way, and I'll just stare at the floor, and my brain will be freaking out, and that's just what happens, and I hate it.
Wait, modern haiku. Everything happens in a gradation across this gay nation.
Whoa.
Right? Yeah, there we go.
I don't know if that's a haiku, but I'll give it...
It's close enough. It's a Western haiku.
Okay.
In a gradation across this great nation.
I said gay nation, goddammit.
This gay nation, dude.
Can't give America too much
You could add
credit
some more syllables. Yeah, I don't know, whatever.
No,
it's a jumping off point, clearly. Yeah, I think another reason why I am okay with transhumanism and not with drugs so much with the mental state thing, just because I was raised on shonen anime where it's all about pure willpower.
I feel that in a big way. Though, you know, if you think of, like, okay, it's true that everyone wants to like do it through their force of effort, like fucking Vegeta, and just man up and like be powerful, but the reality of the world is some people are like literally born with more juice of focus or whatever than other people. That's literally unfair.
I mean, that's the entire point of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I mean, Saiyans are just better than humans, who are better than...
Vegeta is just constantly cucked by Goku's talent.
That's true, and, you know, there's that whole monologue, that legendary monologue at the end of the Buu saga, where Vegeta questions why it is that Kakarot has consistently done better than him, and his conclusion is that, I think it's that he has mercy, like, while fighting. Like, it's for him, it's not about power, it's about the love of the battle or something. I don't know.
It makes sense in a way, because if you want to be able to defeat your opponent without killing them, you have to be overwhelmingly stronger than them, as opposed to just a little bit stronger than them. Maybe that's what he meant?
He did kill Vegeta, didn't he? No, I mean, Frieza. Or did he just leave Frieza?
He does kill his enemies.
Goku didn't want to kill Frieza. He, like, let him live, like,
he was
3
gonna
times.
Is that only in the English version? Because I know he's very different in Japanese.
Yeah, in the Japanese version, he's just an idiot.
In the English version, like, for example, with the first Vegeta fight, he let Vegeta go, and he said, "Oh, Krillin, I believe he can be good one day." But in the Japanese version, it's totally different. He said he lets Vegeta go so that specifically so that Vegeta can get stronger and fight him again. Like, it's totally selfish.
Like a real sociopath.
Yeah, just wants to fight.
Insane in the sub. Like, not a cool character at all. Kind of fucked up.
Fucking badass. But that's it. Maybe it's his like, even Vegeta becomes more of a moral fag than Goku.
Yeah,
by the
Vegeta's
end
like the way better guy by the end of the fucking series.
Yeah, especially
by
the fucking sickest part of the whole dub is like in the Buu arc when he's like fucking broken and battered on the ground after Buu kicked his ass and Goku's up there fighting him and he's like, "You're the better one, Kakarot. You're the better one." And he finally just accepts it that like there's just this gap that can't be closed. And it's like such a cathartic moment. It's like,
by the time
everything this man was about has just been like closed in a negative way, but he's found like his family, his other way to kind of like give himself meaning despite this like long-standing goal never being able to be. Oh, it's so fucking good. It's good shit.
Yeah, and like in Super, he's like a total family man. He's like cranking out babies. He's like,
he's just like a good boy.
Nice. You know, he actually
and he's like, and like Goku's like, "We gotta go train." Bulma. He's like, "I can't. My wife's pregnant. You retard."
Yeah, he actually tells his wife how long he'll be out training, as opposed to Goku, who just instant transmissions the fuck out of there.
You know, it's funny that you brought up that you like grew up with shonen stuff that was all about concentrated power of will. I grew up with nothing but drug music, so maybe that's why I'm so into drugs.
Maybe so.
I'm sure these things inform our beliefs now.
I'm thinking about like the most like foundational stuff to my personality. It's like listening to the Mars Volta, where like in their interviews they're like, "Yeah, we've done every drug there ever has been," you know, like just like listing all the drugs they did on their albums.
I grew up with wrestling, and that's why nothing that's real matters to me, and I just want everything to be as insane and colorful and ridiculous as possible at all times.
You know,
that's why I'm a CRYPTOPUNK anarcho-fascist.
Yeah.
Fucking gay boy.
What else is going on, team? I'm tapped.
I learned all about Twitter yesterday. I learned I've been using Twitter completely wrong. Yeah.
How so?
Because I made a tweet yesterday. Because yesterday it was D23.
Wait, let me guess. You complained about the Twitter in some way, and somebody immediately was there with a TweetDeck link, right?
No. This is like, so what the story is that yesterday was D23, which is like Disney's big like, oh, we're announcing that we own half the world again sort of thing.
Right.
And I don't know if you've seen Disney's new logo. Have you seen Disney's new logo?
Oh, I saw your tweet.
The Disney Plus logo, where it's just Disney Plus, Pixar plus Marvel plus Star Wars plus National Geographic. They're like whipping their dick around. They're like, yeah, we own half the world. So I just screen capped it. I'm like, official logo from the end of Lady and the Tramp trailer. Everyone else find this low-key dystopian. That's a lot of plus. Just like, haha, yeah, Disney's getting pretty weird. And so someone quote tweets me, some random person I don't know, and they're like, the quintessential, I don't consume any media outside of a few major entertainment companies, and now I'm scared because Disney, the company that I worshipped, now bought them, and I'm somehow surprised.
That's a lot to infer.
Yeah, and so I just like, so I responded to them, and I was just like, if you think I'm like a Disney show, you got the totally wrong idea. Just like casually dismissing it. And then they responded to me again. They're like, Twitter pro tip: if someone quote tweets you, they're not referring to what you're saying. And I'm like,
what?
What are you fucking talking about? And so
was there? Okay, sorry, go on.
And I'm just like, what? And like everyone just started dogpiling on this guy because it was the most retarded thing of all time.
Okay, well that's good.
Good. I hope he died.
Sanity.
Yeah, he's like, Twitter pro tip, when someone quote tweets you instead of commenting, it's probably not about you. And then I responded and said, then why are you quoting if you're not referring to the quoted tweet?
Yeah,
what is the point?
Just steal the image if you're just talking about
and then
the
they just got really fucking mad. They're like, oh, you're getting so fucking bent out of shape about it, I'll delete it. I'm just like, I just think it's funny. And I'm just like, oh, I guess quote tweets aren't for quoting a tweet. I've learned something new today. So
So you did not actually learn anything. This was an ironic presentation.
It was an ironic message. I learned...
Ironic learning.
Yeah. It was some crypto learning, as it
making
were.
Sure we're all on the same page, as Jesse discovered at the start of this podcast. Not everyone in our audience knows what the fuck we're talking about when we are sarcastic. But
true. Yeah, we need some sarcasm tags.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we do. BronyCon style.
We just need
tags.
to put a /s at the end of every title of every episode. That'll do it.
God, yeah.
Would
that save us?
Is that a thing? /s for sarcasm?
Yeah. I've seen it.
I've never seen that before. How?
It's been
Thank
around
God.
a long time.
You know, speaking of things I say that are probably sarcastic, but I don't know, I gotta think about it. I don't care if Disney takes over the world, but if I see one more live-action trailer for an old fucking Disney movie, I'm
Did you
going
see Lady
to
and the
lose my...
Tramp,
Oh,
bro?
yeah,
Did you see Lady and the Tramp?
I saw it. Ugh. Lady
Look,
and
the only thing people remember about Lady and the Tramp is the spaghetti sauce scene. That's the only thing. That's the entire reason they're making
I
this
remember
movie.
that at the end they have babies, and all the boy babies look like the dad, and all the girl babies look like the mom.
Reinforcing gender stereotypes
and
once
it's beautiful.
I just know
how it should be.
I just know the part where like Lady gets all like butt flustered and mad at the Tramp because he's got too many other ladies. And it's like, bitch,
Right.
you can't fucking hold this dude down. Get the fuck out of here.
Damn.
Wait.
That sounds like a MGTOW anthem, dude. I gotta get in on this.
My fucking
Lady
my
and the Tramp, the original MGTOW movie. The original Red Pill.
the fucking theater reel in my brain just unspun for a second because you guys were talking about this, and I'm picturing 101 Dalmatians. Because that's also getting a live action.
Emma Stone,
remake.
Cinderella, yep.
That one already had
Wait,
a
they're
live
making it
action
again?
remake.
Yeah, they're doing it
yeah,
again.
I did.
What the fuck?
Oh.
Wait a minute. Holy shit.
I totally forgot about
They're
that.
literally remaking the live action remake.
Okay, but this one's gonna be like it's gonna be like Tim Burton direct, you know? It's gonna be like Edward Scissorhands, what's that one about the barbershop? Sweeney Todd.
Is that
style,
true?
You know? It's
Is
gonna be-
Tim Burton directing it?
I don't think so. It just has that kind of
All these
atmosphere
live
to it.
action movies feel like a Tim Burton
Yo,
nightmare
hot
because they're just
take.
all so uncanny.
Hot take:
Yeah.
Tim Burton is a shitty director.
No, it's not true. I like some of his work.
I like Batman Returns.
I unironically love Sweeney Todd. I think Sweeney Todd's a fucking modern
that's a
masterpiece.
good one.
Yeah.
And Big Fish. Shut up, Digi. Get out of here. He's cool.
I like Sweeney Todd, but I don't think that anything good about it is attributable to Tim Burton.
Okay, yeah, I will say that like the character design of Todd himself is like the most like over the top, ridiculous style of character. That's honestly my biggest criticism. That Sweeney Todd himself, like he looks like such a caricature of this character that there was no way other than him becoming a murderer from the moment he adopted this hairstyle. It had to be done. So that's a little on the nose. Other than that,
That just seems like his style. Tim
Yeah,
Burton's
why couldn't he
style.
barber himself better if he was such a great fucking...
That was his pathos. He could cut anyone else's hair except his own.
Oh, that should have been the main story of the thing. Just trapped on that prison island, Australia or whatever it is, before he could get back with his shaving tools. But alas, he just can't. He can't quaff his own quaff.
They have to
He
make
can't
the
cut.
Avengers so that Sweeney Todd and Edward Scissorhands can finally barber each other
Yeah, exactly.
and solve all their
Comes
problems.
his apprentice.
Speaking of movies and world and things, can anyone break down for me what the deal is with this whole Spider-Man leaving the MCU thing? Because I don't understand what's going on and if I
right.
should care
Well,
in any
back
way.
before...
You shouldn't. I can help you
Okay.
with that.
Before Marvel was like successful in like
Yes.
the late 90s when they were kind of struggling a bit, they sold off a bunch of their properties to other movie studios for cheap, like Blade and the X-Men and Spider-Man went to Sony. So now, they're successful, but those other companies still own the shit. And so Sony is...
Spider-Man was like leased out to Marvel for like the
Yeah,
MCU
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Sony bought the film rights to use
So
Spider-Man.
right now, Sony has all the cards, and they're like, fuck you, Disney, fuck you, Marvel. You gotta pay us trillions of fucking dollars
I
if you
heard-
want Spider-Man back.
correct me if I'm wrong. I heard that like Disney, I don't. There's no bad guy, good guy in these kind of like corporate decisions or anything. But I heard that like Disney was like asking for unreasonable terms.
They wanted 50% of everything from the Spider-Man movies, and Sony's the one
like
footing the bill for everything.
That seems like a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be in favor of Marvel itself owning all of Marvel's shit. That just goes without saying. But because Marvel is also Disney, it becomes gray and gray and gay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
so
fair enough. So I guess he's just done. He's no more.
That's the whole thing. Is like they're saying that there's still 2 more Tom Holland movies that they're gonna make, but they're not gonna be referring to the MCU anymore because they legally can't at this point, which kind of fucks up the end of Homecoming since it was all. The last movie was tied into the MCU like entirely. So like, what are they gonna do?
How?
It's very strange. Yeah, MCU were like, are they just gonna reboot Spider-Man again?
They did. They're
gonna bring Sam Raimi back. What the fuck?
There was a thing where like Sony offered to let Tom Holland play the character at least one more time in like a Sony movie. And the last Zoomer Spider-Man movie did end sort of setting things up where like it could be like a self-contained next Spider-Man movie without any MCU stuff if they wanted. Because
they could certainly write it
because it ends with Spider-Man getting framed and everybody turning on him and the whole world hates Spider-Man. So it's kind of going back to the typical status quo of what Spider-Man has always been, as opposed to this weird Zoomer Tony Stark Jr. Spider-Man that they've been doing.
The stage is set for them to do something cool, and I hope they do, because I'm not a huge fan of mini Iron Man being Spider-Man. Spider-Man's supposed to be...
I agree.
He's supposed to be this guy who's just like, the world endlessly shits on him, and he just goes out at night in spandex like and tries to clear his head. And like
he's just like a working class dude who's got to deal with shit.
All right, yeah.
Not some bourgeois corporate elite Iron Man suit wearing motherfucker.
Yeah, the Zoomer Spider-Man is a class traitor, is what he is.
That's so true. I remember those. I never read any comics growing up, like pretty much at all. But I fucking loved those Spider-Man shows back in the day. Remember that one where he went to like weird Negaverse and he had like a watch that was filled with like bugs that would automatically
Spider-Man
build
Unlimited. It was
fucking insane.
That was Fox's answer to Batman Beyond, and
it was so sick. And there was like a sexy girl bat or something that he made out with that one time, and he got sexy pictures of Spider-Man kissing that girl villain or something, or maybe
interesting that you remember that scene specifically.
It gave me my first baby boner, and I'll never forget it. Good times. We need more of that shit. I know I said this before, but like I just happened upon watching like one episode of like the classic 90s X-Men, and it just soul out the ass. There was so much soul in every fucking frame.
That show holds up great. Like a motherfucker. It's so good.
Recommend.
Morph, this one's for you, Morph.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Man, I remember seeing the first 2 episodes. I think maybe we had them on VHS or something.
I think we did.
The first 2 episodes of the old X-Men cartoon.
Remember Jubilee fucking up that handsome arcade owner's property?
So much of that show was just
and then I never saw any more of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what happens?
So much of that
show. There's like a whole universe here, and I don't know any of it.
Did these X-Men ever become the Y-Men, let alone the Z-Men they were destined to be?
The characters are so pitch perfect in that show. Like, just in the very first episode, when you first see Gambit, and he's in a store, and he's buying a pack of playing cards. Yeah. And the lady behind the counter is like, oh, you like to play cards? And he just goes, I like solitaire, okay? Unless I got someone to play with. And it's just like, that's Gambit. Yeah. That's all of Gambit right there in that one line of dialogue.
Gambit's so
What's
cool.
up?
Oh my god.
What's up?
Hey, remember that?
It's Munchie.
Hearing Munchie say that made me instantly sad that I know that joke is older than he is.
No, I used to load up YouTube. I used to open up fucking Bud Light commercial or wherever the hell it is with Sonic the Hedgehog and Doom and Duke Nukem and all those sorts of people, and they would all say, "What's up?" I would feel like nothing much, bro. Fuck yeah. Dude, I am in fucking bliss right now. I've evolved from piss to bliss right now, and I woke up earlier today, and the PCP was gonna happen in like 5 minutes. I was like, oh man, well yeah, I would like to record the PCP, but I gotta shower. I'm in a good fucking routine. I'm on top of the world right now, guys. And so I took a shower. Now I'm here to record the PCP. I don't care if I'm gonna get a big penalty. I don't care about any of that. I don't care about money. Don't pay me anything. I just want to record with the PC. Yeah, what's up? What's up? Fuck yeah!
Munchie, what's your current life status? Are you in school yet? Where are you right now? What's going on?
To hell and back, baked, if you will, like banana bread. I am 1 week away from going to school. This is my last PSP I'm gonna record as a free man, as a
incredible,
Freemason.
incredible.
So this is it. This is my last appearance for I don't know a little bit. Not as in I'm leaving, but as in like I can't scream really loud and wake up my roommates. Fun fact: right now I'm in a room alone. By the way, right now for the past couple ones I've been with Kazzy and she's been in the room, but they're all off doing bullshit and I'm not here because of UPS. I'll tell my UPS story in a little bit, but to answer your question, my school. Not there yet, but will be soon. So this is my last gasps of
When's
breath.
your move-in?
Literally next Saturday. So
incredible.
Yeah,
Incredible.
So, literally last one. We're on the brink, fellas. We're on the brink.
Oh my God! So when people hear this, it'll
game.
be tomorrow. When people hear this,
Oh
tomorrow
yeah,
will be the
it
day
will.
he moves in.
Oh my God! Yeah. Oh yeah. Send me your ones. Can we get a one in chat for the future,
Please.
which is I guess the present for you now, viewer. What are we been talking about? What's this PCP been about? What like level of interest are we at right now?
We're talking about X-Men, the animated series.
We're talking about classic '90s cartoons. We talked about buying Greenland and how it makes all the sense in the world. Various things of this nature. Yeah,
nah, bro,
it's been all over
dude,
the place.
Greenland would be a fucking sick buy, honestly. Once global warming kicks in and that shit's all fucking green and
That's
just
what I'm
full of oil,
talking
literally,
about.
Yeah. Literally, yeah.
I like
I'm
the
down for
forethought
buying
of our president. Not just like, man, the climate could have ruined the planet. We could stop it, or we could capitalize on it.
We could just do what Ben Shapiro says, and once
Move
global
away.
warming
Just
kicks
move.
in
Yeah.
and all our houses flood, we just sell them and move.
Damn, he's so right.
Andrew Yang's policy on climate change interested me because he said he was like, we could try to do something about it, but America only makes up for like 15% of the problem, and you're not going to get all the other countries on board.
Right.
Yeah, how are we going to get China and India, which are most of the problems?
So
to do
his
this?
advice was, we need to move to higher ground.
Greenland,
He was
baby,
just like, if you're American,
Greenland.
just move to higher ground.
It doesn't get higher than Greenland, baby. Talking latitudinal right now.
Yeah.
Where's the longitude?
Good thing I don't own a house.
Yep.
Owned.
Or rather, the opposite.
Dude, this is
of
great. This is great. All the landlords are gonna get fucked.
That's
Only
especially
some
in
of
coastal
them.
areas.
some of them. I mean, a lot
Only
of them.
some. Only some of them, and some of them are going to profit immensely.
Yeah,
So,
the
okay,
landlords are
whatever.
going to be the ones who have
Yeah.
the money to
High
like
five, break out the
relocate.
champagne.
How's
Greater
that for
concentration of wealth.
How's that for redistribution? Yeah, moving money from some landlords to other landlords. All
fewer
right, never mind.
I just
whatever.
hope that
I'm sad
when the tidal waves come and everyone's rushing to get to higher ground, there's helicopters blasting higher ground by the Red Hot Chili Peppers the whole time that it's happening.
I'm so ready for global warming to and all the seas just to rise, because then we'll be able to do away with Democrats, Republicans, blah blah blah, nothing, because we'll only about be the Obi-Wans and the Anakins anymore. The high
The lowlanders and the highlanders.
Those are the only two political factions that exist.
Oh my
in
God,
America.
people are gonna meme. I mean, that scene's already been memed to hell. But the Highlanders are going to meme the Lowlanders so hard every day of their life. They're gonna be the new, the new untouchables of society, basically.
What was that? Was that cartoon with Will Ferrell as the dad, where it's there's the hill people and the valley people, and the valley
oblongs,
people,
the oblongs.
and the valley people are all mutated from radioactive waste.
That's exactly what it's gonna be.
That's where we're going.
That'd be so cool. Oh my, dude, I've never been more hyped for global warming than I am right now.
By the
You
way-
guys have really sold it on me.
By the way, that is already what it is like. Like, the idea of the oblongs is that it is meant to be reality.
Well, I mean, there's no. I assume you mean in terms of economic strategy.
Well, because in LA in particular, the rich people live in the hills. Like, they all live up on the mountains, and everybody down in LA is a fucking cesspool of just all the filth.
It's like that song. It's like that One Tin Soldier song. It's like the valley people versus the mountain people.
Oh yeah.
And they're mean to each other.
Literally throughout all time, kings have been at the highest point. Like, they're at the high ground. Like, this is just how we structured society
They have the
forever.
high grounds.
It's just the reality.
They've been the
Obi-Wans
Obi-Wans this whole time.
Yeah, okay, complain about white people all you want, but I remember when fucking Liam Neeson, or whatever his name is, Obi-Wan came over and fucking beat the shit out of me, and no one cared. No one called that racial profiling. It's not right.
Wait, what?
When I got racial profiled and pile drive by Obi-Wan Kenobi, no one bad their fucking eye. This is the real systematic.
Munchie, you gotta look out. Ewan McGregor confirmed to come back as Obi-Wan for a Star Wars show.
No.
He's coming back for round 2. He's gonna beat your ass into the ground again.
I'm gonna go to Star Wars 500, like the Indy 500, but Star Wars character running around in cosplay over in a track over and over again. I'm gonna sit in my seat, I'm gonna settle down and think, oh, I sure hope I am beaten up today. And then Ian McGregor's gonna come out with his fucking bathrobes on and his BDSM gear, and whip out the ball gag and just fly it, sling it to me, and I have to put it on and dance around like a pony. Fuck you, Obi-Wan!
The Sith really are the most persecuted minority.
That's so true. You give them the old sheave spin, my dude.
I mean, they are the smallest minority. It said in Star Wars there's only ever 2 of them. A master and apprentice. There's only 2. They're the smallest marginalized group.
Only 2.
That can't be accurate.
Not only 2 at any given time. They have enclaves.
That's what the prequel said. That's why they're fucking weird. It said
Wait,
there's
really?
2, a master
and
a... Yeah, they said there was 2. There's 2 at a time.
Well,
it makes sense.
When it started out, there was like a whole Sith community. You go to their little town in Knights of the Old Republic. But even by that point, it's already
in the old
destroyed.
days. But now in modern Republic times, aka prequel times, there's only 2.
Okay. I know that the new movies have like uncanonized all the old books, but is Knights of the Old Republic still canon?
I don't believe so. It's the only good Star Wars thing ever made.
I mean, that was like way back.
I never
in
even
the distant
played
past,
it, but
right?
It could strongly get the
that was
sense
like
from the community
couple thousand years
great.
before. Yeah, everyone.
A couple thousand years. By the way, guys, that game is like great and worth playing, right? That's what I always hear.
It's a
fantastic
Everyone
says it's really good.
If you like Mass Effect,
it's like Mass Effect 1. It's on par with that.
Okay, you're all saying that, but you mean story-wise? Because I tried to play that game after I played the Mass Effect games, and I thought it was completely incomprehensible, and I had no fucking idea what was going on.
The game incomprehensible, Digi, you don't have to do anything. It's just like it plays like an MMO. You just walk up to shit.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds.
It's exactly like Final Fantasy 12.
I like Final Fantasy 12. I actually like Mass Effect probably less than Final Fantasy 12. I thought the Mass Effect combat was pretty shit, like consistently.
Mass Effect 1 combat sucked. 2 and 3 was fucking good.
Okay, I only played 1 so far. I gotta get back to those fucking games.
Dude.
What am I doing with my life? All right, whatever.
Speaking of the Sith, I remember one of the most memorable nights of my entire life was I got back from watching Rogue One, and I thought, I like Star Wars now, I think, said my right and left brain, like out of sync. Not
doing a hearty handshake with each other.
Yeah. And so I got home, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do 2 things right now. I'm going to binge watch a bunch of Star Wars lore, and also try and cook a steak for the first time. And so, I basically, what ended up happening was, I didn't know how to cook steak, and I didn't bother looking it up. So I just like basically, I would describe it as I tried to deep fry steak, aka I just like loaded like a bottle's worth of olive oil into a pan, set it on a high heat, and then after all, just like dropped in a frozen steak into it. Meanwhile, I'm watching Emperor Tigerstar-esque videos of like the entire history of the Sith Wars every year, and then it starts in like fucking like 315 BBY before the Battle of Yavin, and it's just one big circle and dots, and there's just like a set of like red dots, or overtaking blue dots over and over again for like an hour. Meanwhile, I scalded my fucking hand of just dropping a steak into olive oil, and I'll never forget that night. Fuck you, Star Wars.
You scalded your hand just like Anakin Skywalker scalded his entire body. Is that when Obi-Wan got you, dude?
Yeah.
It was
a recut of that scene where instead of they're on the lava planet, it's just Obi-Wan and Anakin like being really bitchy in their kitchen, and then Obi-Wan drops a frozen steak into a pot of olive oil, and Anakin is scalded, and and then he also turns into Darth Vader.
Munchie yells at his steak, "You were the chosen one! You were supposed to bring balance to my hunger and stomach!"
This wouldn't have happened in 45 BBY. Fuck you,
and then the steak yells back, "I hate you!"
Dude, okay.
Probably,
okay.
Yeah. Dude, when you were cutting that steak later, it was probably like that scene where Obi-Wan like cuts Darth Maul in half, and he goes like, "Oh fuck, you're cutting me, bro! Don't."
Actual dialogue.
Wait, okay. So you know how we have the voice jail, right? You know how we have like a cell of villains that we like persecute with like sticks and stones. I propose we have a new jail for people who aren't in the voice jail, but just are like general villains of the PCP. I don't mean internet careers. I mean like institutions.
A rogues gallery, perhaps.
Because Ben came up with the idea of hating systems, not people. He invented it, as we all know, on the PCP. And
read my book.
I want to complain. I want to have a formal complaint and submit to the real jail the entirety of UPS. Not like the CEO or the higher-ups, but like every single like service worker there, everyone involved with the operation. Like the graphic designer who made the logo, they're going inside. It's gonna be like September massacres in there.
They all have to fit into one cell in the jail.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm going to paint a picture for you because I've just been, like, toiling. I've achieved broken brilliance because I'm in a great mood now, but for the past, like, week, I've just been in utter despair of the chain of events that have happened due to the mail situation. And so, like, a week ago, Caroline's brother, by Caroline I mean Cassie, haha. Caroline's brother is going to Montreal for college. He's doing that, and he's leaving this weekend. The original plan is her father is going to take him up to Montreal. Why does this matter? Well, because 4 days ago, he's like, hey, do you want to come with us? And I'm like, yes, I would love to go to Montreal. Well, how many times are you going to go to Montreal in your life? Never. What a great opportunity. That would have been amazing, incredible. But I didn't bring my passport, because I'm just going to, originally I didn't pack a whole lot, because, you know, I'm just going to Boston before I go to fucking college. I don't need a passport right now, do I? It turns out I did. So I'm like, okay, Mom, here's like $25. Can you please ship this overnight so I make sure it gets here? She said yes. She does that. And also, she sends my computer because I need that for an Endless War thing, for an Endless War update ARG that I've been like really like trying, like just grinding, working out. I have like tons of fucking like images and writing that I've created. Ben also made a line of flavor text and it was cool. So this is like,
contributed 0.1% to this effort, so I'm technically in it.
Yeah, and it was gonna be great, and I'm so looking forward to it. And so there's a dilemma in my mind, right? Ooh, I want to release this on a weekend because that'll be the most players are active, but, you know, I really want to go to Montreal. Okay, I want to go to Montreal. Friday, 2 days ago, you know, my passport isn't here. So I unfortunately am forced to not go to Montreal because the fucking pieces of shit at UPS just did not, like, listen to overnight. They were late by 2 days and couldn't fucking deliver my passport for some reason. And so now I'm forced to live in this fucking broken, shambled shanty house with no one in it. Well, my girlfriend and all of her family and all of the fucking 7 elves from hell go up to Montreal and have a gay-ass fucking time without me. But I think, okay, silver lining. There's a silver lining to every story, right? You know, okay, so I'm able to, like, work on Endless War. I'm able to finish it and release it on a weekend. Oh, but wait, a critical part of the ARG is there's a file that's only accessible on my desktop, which also isn't here, even though I called a total of 6 fucking times to ensure that it was shipped to, you know, the right address at the right time. I called the day of it was supposed to be delivered, and you know what happened? I called them. They said, hey, we got the right address. You know, you've been calling us, harassing us that we fucked up the address, and, you know, we fixed it. We fixed it for you. Please stop making fun of us. And I say, okay, I will. And then guess what? I'm on my laptop. It opened up the tracking, and, you know, I'm watching it rigorously. I'm listening for like a bat, waiting for the sonic waves of the doorbell to ring inside my ear, or for the door to knock. Guess what? Instead of any of that, I get a ding on my laptop. Failed delivery. You didn't answer us. And then, like, I look outside. Shit. There is no truck outside. They just fucking straight up lied. They didn't do what they said. And so now I can't even do that. I can't even fucking release the Endless War update I've been working on. So I have nothing. So I'm just inside this fucking frozen tundra of a cozy bedroom in Boston that I have, and I'm just fucking wallowing away. And I think, okay, how can I drown my sorrows? How can I drown out the pain? Play Minecraft. So I go to download Minecraft, and Mojang won't accept my credit card, so I can't even play Minecraft. I can't even do that. What does the world come to?
That's rough, buddy.
It's a nightmare. It's a literal nightmare.
Once said.
And so, like, last night, I was just pacing around, like, UPS, ARG, Minecraft, just pacing back and forth, running across my room over and over, just seething up in fucking pain. And I just, like, something about my brain just, like, broke that day. Something about my brain just, like, a little bit of it chipped off. And now I've just been in, like, a great mood, and I recorded, like, a weird, like, pseudo-podcast last night, but I'm not going to record, or I'm not going to post, because I only recorded it so it wouldn't appear weird to my brain that I was talking out loud. It was great. I'm great now. Everything is good. You know, my life's ruined. I'm not able to release any of the things I wanted to. And I'm also not able to have fun in Montreal. So like everything's gone wrong, and I want to kill myself. And that's where I am right now. I hate the UPS. They've done this to me. They didn't allow me to go to Montreal. They didn't allow me to release this ARG. So now I have to release in a weekend. No one's gonna play it. No one's gonna like it. No, I've done nothing. Nothing I've ever done will amount to anything. This is the end, guys. This is the end times for Munchie.
I think it's
people
time
were clamoring
to wage
for
war.
it this week. And by next week, interest is just going to be gone.
It will.
The moment will have passed.
No, literally, because now all the people who play in this war are all like children, so they're going to be in school on these days.
Oh no! Well,
I mean,
we'll still have the weekend.
You have the opportunity
no.
here.
Don't you remember, Ben? This is my last weekend. Next weekend, I'm moving in.
Oh. Well, yeah.
This was it, Ben.
You should have had a bigger brain and a bigger dick, such that this situation never arose in the first place, Munchie.
You know what? This isn't Munchie's fault. This is not Munchie's fault. The UPS does this all the time. They are under, I don't know if it's because they're under a ton of pressure or they're just fucking retards, but constantly they will not ring the doorbell. They will not knock on the door. They will just drive by your house sometimes like they weren't there, Lamau, and they say it's a failed delivery. This happens constantly.
Was it UPS? I forget if it was UPS. I don't know. I don't remember if it was UPS or FedEx or whatever, but one of the people that, like, I ordered the pins, right? This was, like, a long time ago. This was, like, way before I was even getting close to getting it, which I am close to getting it done. But for the Vapors 2 Kickstarter, when I ordered the pins, the new pins for the second Kickstarter, and I ordered them, and this was right as our parents moved house, right? But obviously, if they moved, they left instructions for, like, this is our new address. But whoever was delivering them just didn't listen, and they just said undeliverable, and they just didn't deliver, and they just disappeared, and they just disappeared in the mail, and I paid for the order. They were shipped to them, but they just threw them away because they didn't go to the right address.
I just want to say that, again, this is like a malicious thing on UPS's like behalf, by the way. I don't think this is like an accident. I think this is a premeditated attack on yours truly, Munchie Shatsky.
They're probably a bunch of killers, dude. They're probably a bunch of killers who don't want to,
So again, I just want to reiterate that I called them like incessantly, just over and over and over again, to make sure the patch would be delivered in time. And then after I got the infuriating remark that they tried to deliver it but were unable to, motherfucker, you weren't even here, I called them again and was very stern and like, hey, what the fuck is your problem? Like, what can I do? I didn't say what the fuck is your problem. I was like, I'm really upset right now. Can you please explain why? But I said it in a really stern tone. And
nice.
then by the way, none of them can speak English. Not a single person was a native English speaker, and I couldn't understand like half their accents. And then they had the gall to say, oh, well, if you want to pick it up yourself, you can on Monday. That will be $35 to pick it up in person. They charged me to do it in person when they just couldn't fucking deliver it to me in person. By the way, I just want to say that computer, I didn't just, like, it wasn't just like, like, oh, I picked it up in a bag and I took it to the UPS. No. So, it was $200 to ship it to me because it's my computer, and I had to get extra fragile shipping, and there were like 3 boxes for all the stuff that was accumulated with the monitor and the desktop and everything else. So, $200 to ship that to me, probably is lost in transit and broken by now because it's just been loaded on and off a truck so many times because they can't understand, they can't fucking speak anything. They are just dumb. They're stupid. I hate them.
Yeah, time to murder.
So UPS, I have these problems all the time. I have a doorbell. They don't seem to ring it. It sucks. They're terrible. But even worse, I don't know if you guys, do you ever get like Amazon delivery from like, there's like an Amazon independent delivery system that works, like they've got, like independent people. It's not UPS or FedEx. It's Amazon's
They have their
actual
own
guys.
shipping fleet now.
Yeah. So, okay, obviously they're a million times worse than anyone else. And like multiple times now, at least twice, there's been instances where like I've called them to ask their customer support. They have told me this, that they are delivering something. They get here. I'm checking. They're like, oh, we couldn't deliver today. I'm like, that's odd. I check the thing. It says it was delivered. I say, that's weird. I call up customer support and say, excuse me, it says it was delivered. It's not at my place. What's going on? They tell me, this has happened twice, I'm pretty sure now, like, oh yeah, sometimes our delivery guys are just trying to meet a quota, so they just put it down as delivered, but it's not actually delivered. Like, just hang on a couple more days, and like maybe it'll be there.
I understand,
You
sir.
see what? What?
Of course, sir.
Did I would put Jeff Bezos on the phone. I need to talk to the man in charge. He needs to know what's going on. This has happened to me multiple times.
Yeah,
I can't believe this is acceptable. Fire the people who do this.
Have you ever had the bowling ball service before?
No, I don't think so.
This is something unique, I guess, maybe to my house because we have a driveway on a downward slant. But sometimes they'll just park at the edge of the driveway and just roll the package down our driveway and take off.
Wait, what?
And like I got a laptop and I was waiting for it to come and they just rolled the laptop box down my driveway and I ran out. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But they were already driving away. And yeah.
Wait. So they did this with a laptop.
Yeah. It was just a box.
Spherical laptop? How does it even roll down the...
They just take a box and they just pitch it and it just starts rolling down the fucking...
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the quality you get with the Amazon delivery system.
Yeah,
this is how they do it.
Disgusting beyond words.
I can't. Like,
have you ever seen an Amazon graveyard? Do you have any of those? Like, because like there's a plaza near my house that used to have like a Stop and Shop and a bunch of other places. There's still a couple small businesses there, but it was bought by Amazon. So the parking lot that used to support tons of businesses is now just completely full of Amazon vans. It's just like, and like it's a big parking lot. So like you drive, it takes like 3 minutes to get across it, and it's just a fucking ghost town except for hundreds of Amazon branded vans, and it's the most dystopian feeling of all time going through there.
So is this the fleet doing the deliveries and like
this is like where they keep all the vans for all their contractors to do all their deliveries because there was an old like Caterpillar building that they bought and now it's an Amazon delivery service. So like they just bought the entire parking lot to use as their parking lot for their vans, and it's just literally hundreds. And you're just like, oh, I remember when like people would come here and go grocery shopping, and now it's just a ghost town.
I know that other people disagree with me on this. Like, in a possible world, perhaps this is naive, perhaps this is unrealistic, but in a world where all power is where wealth and power are concentrated in a very small number of people, and those people like do everything. If those people don't do immoral things, I don't have a problem with it. Maybe that's naive. Maybe it's inevitably going to happen. Okay, that's fine. We can discuss that. But nonetheless, the fact that it's all being concentrated in such a shitty system, in such a terrible, awful fucking system where such things are just tolerated, I guess it's tolerated the way that, like, YouTube recently, like, constantly tolerated people abusing their copyright claim system because there's just too many fucking people with them making videos and with Amazon just asking for bullshit that nobody cares about, including me every day buying Amazon
Oh my God,
shit.
Nate.
It's just too many.
You're getting it. You're starting to see through the veil.
My class consciousness is spiking right now. My power levels are surging.
The problem is that, in order to get far in the world, you have to, like, inherently be a bad person. Like, that's just...
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
You kind of do.
You know, I totally agree with that.
Well, it depends.
In order to get to that upper echelon, like, to really get to the tippity top, like, to get to the 1%, like, to be like
wait, okay, I've got a question for you. Okay, we all know that, like, if you're, like, a CEO of a gigantic company or something, like, and basically any decision you make is going to, like, benefit one group and, like, penalize another group, such that almost any decision you make, like, has winners and losers, and those could be fairly serious. Like, people could, like, lose their jobs, lose their livelihoods, you know, could fuck them up. But, like, you have to make decisions. Like, are you defining that as evil? Because, like no, a good person might just be paralyzed.
I would say that to get to the tippity top, you have to be evil because you must, like, you must exploit the work of employees in order to, like, generate capital.
I don't even know. I mean, that's true. I don't know if I'd go that far when what I'm talking about. I just mean that in order to be the best, you have to be overly aggressive to a point that most people would find it morally uncomfortable. Like,
that
you
might
have
be
to be,
true.
you can't
That
be
might
afraid
be
to step on other people and, like, use a pile of, like, corporate corpses to climb your way to the top. That's just the way the system works, and most people don't have the stomach for it.
I mean,
so inevitably, the people who are at the top are the people with very little moral consideration.
If you're not 100% if you're 99% ruthless, that guy who's 100% ruthless is going to edge you out.
That's quite possible.
In the market.
If you're only 99% ruthless, you're in the 99%. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
Ruthless's world, is there such a thing as being Ruthful? Can I be a Ruthful person?
Yeah, Ruth Gator Ginsburg on the Supreme Court.
Let's ask Urban Dictionary, shall we?
Welcome to this episode of the PCP. The topic is being Ruthful. Guys, how have you been Ruthful lately?
Okay, top definition for Ruth. Ruth is a very pretty girl with the shiniest and prettiest brown eyes. Oh. She has a warm heart and is very caring. She could light up the whole room with her presence around, especially with her humor.
One click buy.
She can be the kindest person you have ever met. She's very loving and the best person to go to for a shoulder to cry on. She will put her loved ones first and her friends second. She is honest and loyal and has the prettiest smile.
Okay,
girl. Is that the girl? Girl. Is that the girl everyone's been talking about? Guy, sure is. That's Ruth. So okay. I hope that's cleared it up.
That
for
all
you.
defines Ruth. Top definition of ruthless lack of this person is simply without Ruth, lack of Ruth, no Ruth. That's the full definition of ruthless.
Thank you for helping us be guys.
So if you're ruthless, then you're an incel, and you don't have a pretty girl with shiny, pretty brown eyes.
Correct.
Right?
And I mean,
that's correct.
And that's what turns you evil.
What else sets the stage for a corporate takeover of society than not having a Ruth in your life?
Damn.
Mm-hmm. It all makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna say right now, the Raddies are Ruthful. The Raddies are a Ruthful race. A Ralphful, Rudy race, rambunctious rats.
Killers are ruthless. Killers absolutely ruthless.
They're ruthless.
Sure. That's the difference. That's the difference in worldview.
We're just imbued with so much Ruth that it's just spiraling out of control.
I think this is why more Slime Corp employees gravitate towards the killer side, because one of the first psychological checks you do when you're entering Slime Corp evaluation is, do you have empathy? If so, get out right now. You just leave. Leave the premises.
You'll get edged out in the free market if you have Ruth.
You just slide a picture of Ruth over to the potential employee. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Depending on their answer.
When they slide that picture of Ruth over, you need that Russian propaganda picture of that guy holding up his hand going, "Het." Saying,
Well, I just want to put a little bow tie on the UPS story. I just want to say that it wouldn't bother me so much if it weren't for just the deception. If it was just incompetency, if it was just they fucked up, or even if it's a scummy worker that just is trying to fill up a quota, even that is fine. It's the fact that every single I feel like there's nothing I can do because I am constantly getting positive affirmation that what's happening is going to be okay. I'm getting constant we have your address.
They're gaslighting you. They're gaslighting you in a big way.
In the exact same day, I will call them and say, this is my address. Make sure you're delivering it right because it doesn't look like you're delivering it to the right address on your website. And they'll be okay, no, we've updated it. Okay, so it's going to this address. Okay, good. Don't worry, we're going to this address. The same day, your address was wrong, by the way. We didn't get your company name. We need your company name for some reason. We just assumed
Rowdy
you were
fuckers,
incorporated.
cop killers. We kill
Slime
cops.
HQ. Yeah, come on.
This is why I like dealing with USPS because they're incompetent, but they're always on the nose about it. You know what you're getting into when you deal with the post office.
Yeah. These
There's
are
a
federal
bunch of
employees who don't give a shit,
and
they don't pretend to.
Yeah. I mean, I've had issues with the post office, but it's never been a rigmarole. It's just we fucked up.
So,
sorry. I'm go fuck yourself.
Just in case anyone was wondering, yes, it seems that Ruth, spelled with an E before the U, was a Middle English word meaning pity or compassion that has fallen out of use. So that's where that comes from.
Hell yeah.
So I was just taking a big old shit, and
you did type
that's
an
what was
emergency.
urgent?
That was an emergency.
I said BRB, urgent shit.
Oh, I didn't think you meant it was literally a shit that was urgent.
I
assume you
urgently
meant
had to take a shit back.
Okay, all right.
So
great.
I went to take an urgent shit, and I was reading the manga Planetes. The previous...
I've got a copy right over here. Yeah.
It's from the guy who wrote Vinland Saga. Have you read it yet, Nate?
It's by the guy who made Vinland Saga?
Yeah, I didn't even fucking realize that either.
Are you? I had no fucking idea.
Once you start
I only
reading
got
it, though, you'll be like, oh, okay. I
got two. I mean, that was from way back in the day, right? Oh, that blows my mind. I mean, obviously, I just made a Weagua about fucking Vinland Saga, and I'm a big fan.
Yeah, it blew my mind too.
Okay.
Well, I was just reading it. Well, I guess if you've already read the first couple chapters, then I don't know. You probably don't remember them, but
it's been a while.
Chapter 2 seemed like it would interest you a lot. It was about the main character. So for those who don't know, Planetes is about people who are junk collectors in space. They collect space debris. They're literally just trash men. It's mostly about like the economic disparity of how we treat people who do like blue collar jobs, cool. Essentially, even in space. And in chapter 2, the main character's like having his doubts about whether space is cool. He's like, space is kind of shit. You know, everybody out here just kind of gets cancer and loses their mind, so it's not that great.
It's a tale of learning to love space.
Well, he was just like, man, what the fuck is the point? Because like back on Earth, it takes place at a period where like the sea levels have already risen. We've used up most of the natural resources.
Did we buy Greenland though?
I don't know. So. I mean, I don't even know what country he's from necessarily because it's in space. But they're on the moon. Like they have like a moon base. Like it's basically like we've colonized the moon to some extent, and like we're you know we're like we got spaceships and stuff. We've explored the outer belt, I guess, or inner belt or whatever belt. Anyways,
leather belt.
He's like I don't know, man. Maybe fucking we weren't supposed to come to space. And then the other lady's like, man, fuck you, dude. We gotta be in space. It's the only way forward for humanity. Like we just gotta do it. And then he meets this girl who was born on the moon, and she's like, I can't even go to Earth because like, you know, my body can't handle like their atmosphere. But like, you know, I'm letting them study me for science, and I want them to fucking figure out how to progress and fix a lot of these problems that we have with space. And he's like, you know what? Maybe space isn't so bad.
It's got
space
moon
is
girls.
The place. Hashtag
I thought you'd appreciate it, Nate, because it's just like he's having his doubts about human progress and whether it's all worth it. And then this girl from space is like, nah, dude.
That was a good chapter.
These guys are living, doing real shit, facing real issues. But like ultimately, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Good chapter. Also, though, long. Not. I was, I'm just trying to read a chapter while I take a shit and get back to the PCP, and I'm like, oh god, like, where the fuck does this end? I have to go back. I'm gonna get a penalty if I fucking miss too much.
People have been telling me for a long time that I should, read, watch, whatever Planet is, because I would love it. I didn't get that far into it, but I read a bunch.
It's funny,
it seemed
Nate,
fantastic.
that you haven't read it completely, because you gave it to me as a gift, like the first volume. I know. And you were talking up like, yeah, this is great, you'll love it. And I was like, oh, this must be a favorite of Nate's, and you're just like, yeah, I never read it.
Well, I had heard, people told me that, and I read some of it and thought it was great. So I'll finish it one of these days.
I'm pretty sure it's just two big volumes. Like it's not even that long.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Speaking of reading, what a common thing, right? Let's. I don't want to get too deep into all the punk ass bitches in the comments last episode railing against me. But one common refrain was that Ben's just parroting a bunch of YouTube people. Ben just watched. He's just a talking mouthpiece for all these YouTube. He's never even read a book. Well, I read a book. I finished Peter Kropotkin's Conquest of Bread yesterday, and here's my review of it. It's informative, but it's very outdated. He talks a lot. He talks a lot about why we should communism, which cool. A lot of that comes off as kind of sermonizing, but I don't mind that. It's pretty good. I like it. And then a lot of it is him talking about like, but how will we do the revolution? How will we survive? How will we feed ourselves? And there's a lot of nitty gritty like, with intensive farming methods, here's how many bushels per acre, the typical Parisian farmer could produce. And it's very outdated. And he's like, did you know that in America, certain cities actually pump hot water into homes in addition to cold water? We could do that too, guys. The future's going to be fucking sick.
Okay.
So it's pretty short, though.
Do you know when he wrote it and where he's from?
He's from Russia.
Okay.
He's Russian.
Ben.
I don't know the exact year.
Okay.
Ben, if you're going to be reading
probably
political
1800s.
books, I have one I recommend, which is fucking Yang's book. I read it.
The War on Normal People?
Yeah, I read it, and it was great. And I agree with everything he has to say. Yang is my man.
Yang is pretty cool.
I won't say I agree with everything he has to say, but most of it.
Yeah,
the vast majority of just his perspective on... I think the most important thing about Yang to me is not just his ideas of like what to do, but just the fact that he seems to actually know what's happening. Like the biggest thing that drives me insane about like all the politicians and stuff is like they're talking about plans of action for a world that to me doesn't exist. That I'm like, that's not the way things are though. Like if you're not taking into account the internet, you don't understand how like the businesses are run there, then you don't know what the fuck the world even is right now, you know? And we know,
I mean,
like,
Yang's
in Congress,
like 40-something.
Yeah. Well,
Yang's like 40-something.
Yeah.
All the other, like, so many of the other Democratic candidates are like 80+.
Well, he's like 40-something, and his whole entire background is working for startups, you know? Like, all he's done
He's also a gamer.
He is.
He played a lot of StarCraft.
Starcraft
Player, yeah.
Yep.
He mentioned, there's a whole chapter about gaming in the book about, like, basically how video games have...
How they need to rise up?
Well, mostly he's talking about how he's like, you know, I understand video games and how addicting they are and, like, why they're so good, but they are ruining our men. Like,
he's touched
it's
on
a
that
case
a
I know
bit.
is like the type
In
of men
interviews.
he describes are literally guys I know, like guys who have completely been subsumed into.
Yang's putting the focus on the wrong people. Women need to compete with video games with surgically enhanced sexiness. It's the only way to keep the arms race going. We have to do it.
Yang is pretty cool. I like him. I know I've been hyping him up. I've been hyping him up on Twitter lately, selling Yang shirts. It's all pretty great. I'm not voting for him. My motto is vote Bernie, wear Yang. Yeah, I'm voting Bernie. If the polls changed and like Yang surged ahead, I would vote for him.
Okay.
But like he's not going to win. I'm going to vote for Bernie because he can actually, and also I like Bernie.
Let's say you had the vote. Your only vote mattered. And
You
could
are
pick anyone.
no. Okay, Digi. Throw your vote away on Yang so Biden will win. Great. Thanks a lot.
Okay, you're talking about like
what if you just don't care?
Primaries, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
I mean,
the
what
primaries.
makes you think that? Like, I would not vote for Bernie. Like, I wouldn't.
Why would you not vote for? Oh my god! Why would you not vote for Bernie?
I wouldn't vote for
Various
anybody but
political
Yang.
reasons,
I
probably.
would not vote for anybody but Yang. Period.
Oh my god, Digi, you don't understand. You don't understand.
What do I not
what's
understand?
At stake. Fucking Biden's gonna win.
If people
Biden's
all
not
act
gonna like you, Biden's gonna
all right,
win.
First of all,
Wouldn't
none
Biden
of them are
more
going
Obama?
to beat Trump.
No, he's way worse than Obama.
Okay.
He sucks.
Okay.
Also, he's literally demented. Like he's clearly
He does
has
not
like brain.
seem particularly on the ball.
He is not on the. He's not on the fucking ball.
I agree.
And Bernie fucking rules. Okay, I don't know if you know anything about Bernie, but Bernie rules.
If the Democrats pick Joe Biden, they will be just signing their death warrant. There's no
Exactly.
Yeah, that seems true.
Yes,
that
that's one of the things I'm saying to you.
From what I've heard, Bernie is currently third behind Warren and
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about Yang. I like Yang. He's not going to win, but he's young, right? Like he can run again.
Well, that's
we can
why
get
you
Yang
have to.
later.
That's why you have to vote for him, because you need to build up the cachet of his reputation.
But he's. I want.
Like you, okay. Look,
yeah,
Democratic
well,
Party
I
is a
I
fucking
see what you're
wash
saying, but I
for
don't
2020.
agree.
None of the Democratic candidates have a fucking chance against Trump. Maybe Yang would, but he's not
No,
big
Bernie
enough.
could win.
I
swear,
don't-
Bernie could absolutely.
I don't
win.
know. I don't know about that.
He could have won in 2016. He could win in 2020.
A lot of
Bernie's
people
the
do
only
not
one
like
who
Trump.
I think would even have a chance, but like
Exactly.
I also think that I also think he can't win.
Exactly, Digi.
I don't think he'll
Oh
win
my
at all.
god. Okay, I don't agree. Whatever.
Ben, what
Listen.
happened to hating boomers? Let's bring back the hatred of old people. That's the Ben
Bernie's
I know
a good.
and love.
There's a small undercurrent.
Okay.
There's a small undercurrent. Bernie's the good kind of boomer. Bernie threw trash at separatists during the civil rights movement and stuff. Bernie's a champion.
This conversation is the war on normal people.
Wait, hold on. I want to
speaking of books, there's a book that I do really want to read that's called Bullshit Jobs.
Uh-huh.
You ever heard of that one?
I don't think so.
It is just
Isn't that
it's just
every
about how
job?
like
Every job.
it's just about how like most job or like tons of jobs. I mean, in like the modern world,
you know how-
literally do not contribute anything.
You know how Mike
They
Rowe does that
exist
show
purely
Dirty
to be-
Jobs?
They exist purely to be middlemen who like just like do not contribute
Mike
to the
Rowe,
actual
Mike
chain
Rowe.
of supply.
Micro does that job, Dirty Jobs. I'm going to do my show, Bullshit Jobs. And just do pointless, don't add value to the world or anyone. That's going to be
You're
my
already
show.
doing the
Watch
bullshit
for it.
job right now.
I've-
We're all fucking on YouTube.
Yeah, you're right.
by David Bullshit Jobs by David Graeber. This is a book I've been hearing about a lot that I want to read.
I have two books, one for Ben and one for the audience. For
Okay.
Ben, I recommend God and the State by Mikhail Bakunin. Mikhail Bakunin. God and State.
Bakunin! Oh, Bakunin! Bakunin is the guy who thinks inheritance is immoral. He's my boy.
Basculin, bananas.
Yes,
I understand
yes,
now.
But
Okay.
I'm so Ben. It warms my heart that you actually paid attention to a reference or like a reference that I gave you.
yeah, the revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to the. I want to go back and listen to more because there's probably more. more
there's
by
way
now.
more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's so cool that we're dude. Okay, I was
Dude, we're talking about theories.
What's the other book, though?
Well, hold on, wait. Actually, before that, because this is way more important. I was pacing back and forth last night again, as I mentioned, just running back and forth in my room, just seething in anger about UPS, and I got thinking about how like. It's sort of a weird melodramatic statement, but I don't mean it in any such thing. But I almost feel like I don't relate to anyone anymore. Not that I have surpassed them in any level of intellect, not even remotely that. But just as in, like, I feel as though my interests are so different from the people I surround myself with that, like, we just have different interests. And it's not a bad or good thing. It just is a difference in taste. And
Hashtag parents will never get it. Got it.
No, that's specifically
Munchie,
no.
What you are describing is how I ended up in the internet and in this group. Like, this is exactly it was just like a gradual process of like the more I got into being a YouTuber and doing things that most people don't do, the more it's like my friends just literally can't relate. It's just like it wasn't like we had a falling out or we stopped being friends or anything. It's like they were into playing video games, I was into making YouTube videos, and like they didn't really want to make YouTube videos and I didn't really want to play video games, and like the only people I could find who I could really relate to are other people who were doing not just YouTube videos but like a similar type. That's kind of how this group got formed. Is like, oh, these are all people who are not just even like doing My Little Pony analysis videos, but like doing it with a certain attitude of like being capable of like a more in-depth analysis but not taking it seriously, having this attitude of like, yeah, we could just have fun and be kind of edgy and, you know, just like analyze this show because it's entertaining to do and an intellectually stimulating exercise, but like, you know, it's like, yeah, these are the only people doing this, something close enough to what I'm doing that I can even have a conversation about the things that like matter to me. Because like even you can't even like talk to fans or like other kinds of creators if you're just trying to talk about like the reception of your work or like what it's like to do this job. No one fucking gets it at all, you know. And you can you can make it vague enough that other people kind of get it. You know, you can kind of say, you know, use metaphor to some extent to make people understand like what you're dealing with, but like just the specifics of it, it's like it's a new job. No one's done it. And nobody
completely agree, Digi.
It is definitely the most alienating hell imaginable, and you will lose everyone you love and care about. That is definitely true.
Those are
maybe a negative.
I'm feeling that, Digi, but not so much for what I'm doing. More so like it's funny that you use that metaphor as in like what got you into this group, whereas opposed I feel it's almost shifting away. Not in a and again, it's like so easy to take the words I'm saying and assign like a malice or a sort of like I don't know, even a victimhood. I mean, that's not all what I mean.
I'll even expand on what I said and say like I feel the same way about this group too. That I don't talk to these guys as much because we're not as much all doing the exact same thing, and like all of us kind of have other stuff going on. That like
we're definitely in late stage PCP.
Yeah,
this is going down soon.
It's like it's harder for me to communicate with like Munchy or Ben or anybody who's in the fucking endless war because I don't participate in it, and like a huge amount of the conversation, like for anybody wondering, like when we get together now, if you get Ben and Munchy in the same room, it is an endless war of endless war. It's just endless war all the time, and it's like I literally don't know what they're talking about. So
I understand, Digi. Endless Wars rock. Click on the link in the description. I feel whenever I get on the PCP, I have shows where it's like the core appeal is my personality, and I'm selling my ideas for to the people, to the masses. The PCP and RFCK, the show, and it's weird. Because I get on these, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to talk, and I have ideas in my mind that I'm really passionate about, and I think about it, I meditate on day in and day out, and I get on, I'm like, oh, wait, like, it would be really boring if I were to just, like, monologue for, like, an hour, and then, like, say a thing, and then, like, no one has anything to input on, because none of them are thinking or care about the same things I do. And chief among them, I mean, there's more than this, but chief among them is, like, the thing that I always bring up and feel super embarrassed about, which is history, where there's no way you can say that you like history without being a fucking pretentious snob. And people, like, even when they hear the words history, they're like, oh god, look at who does this guy think he fucking is? Whereas I've always maintained that just is anime, it just is media. History just is like a cartoon show that you watch, and it's interesting the literally exact same ways that any other show would be. So that's where most of my like ideas come from, and most of what I'm thinking about. The book that I was going to recommend is a 32-hour Napoleon biography, Napoleon: A Life by Andrew Roberts. Fantastic, great book. And I just had so many ideas, and I was thinking so much about it, and about all the quotes from Napoleon, and all the like the ups and turns of that. I just wanted to talk to someone about it so badly and just discuss it. But like, there's no one I can do that with that I know. Like, there's absolutely no one. Like, no one would care. Like, it's
I care about Napoleon.
People.
I remember the time that he went to the water park. That was really cool.
Trash.
It's boring for both people, right? Where it's like, it's boring for someone who doesn't care to be like, oh yeah, he's like just like saying things to me now, like he's just repeating a thing that has happened before. Yawn. It's also boring for me because it's like I'm just saying a thing to someone, and then they're like, cool. You know, there's no conversation, there's no actual discussion of things. It's boring. I feel like stifled, but not in like again, it's not like an outward, like people have done it to me. It's just like, I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how I got on this. I don't know how I started talking about this.
Munchie, did you read God in the State?
Yeah, I haven't finished it, but I read like I think I read like a third of it.
Munchie, here's what I recommend, unironically. Podcast.
I'm glad you reminded me about Bakunin.
Podcast about all these things, because what I've found, and this is what I originally loved about Twitter, and it's also true of just anywhere. If you just like talk about something in a big enough sphere where enough people see it, guaranteed one of them cares. So like, if you make a podcast about Napoleon, like 99% chance somebody in your comments knows even more about Napoleon than you do, and would love to have a conversation about Napoleon with you, you know? So like, you just gotta kind of like farm around, you know, you just gotta like make public, because like I think I described Twitter once as a place where you could just announce your desire to have a conversation with somebody to as many people as possible, and maybe one of them wants to have that conversation, you know, which is something that, you know, you can't do at home. It's just there's not enough people around you with these same interests.
It's fun you bring up that specific thing, because last night, again, I was, UPS Minecraft Digi, bro, because I was thinking a lot about the Whirling Dervish and about how I really have enjoyed it so far, and I listened to all of it. Yeah, and I've gotten really, like, because more and more I felt like, yeah, conversations are good, and like I love listening to podcasts when both the co-hosts are on the same page, right? But like, there's something so direct about the Whirling Dervish, because it just is like you just saying what you believe, and it's not like you are saying it and then the other person just has to constantly give like yeah, or it's like they butt in about like, I don't know, just whatever, you know. You could just have like a full complete point, and it feels so much more dense than another thing, even if it had the exact same content. Just the idea that there's another person there who like isn't speaking can like clutter the perception of it just being like a one-sided conversation that feels somewhat awkward. So I love that, and I was thinking about that. And last night I don't know, I think I said this earlier, but I opened up a voice recorder and I just wanted to speak aloud. I was going to write down all my thoughts, but writing is really agonizing for me, and I hate it even when it's stream of conscious. Like, there's just something wrong with my brain. And so I wanted to talk aloud and just speak to myself, but I thought it'd be awkward. So I just recorded a podcast that I wasn't going to release. I might release it now, but it was literally what you were describing, just like about Napoleon, about what I was thinking about, and also just like all about what I have just described today. I had practice round for this very podcast last night.
Yeah, I mean, I've done that plenty of times as well. Just like recorded a podcast about something, and then just been like, yeah, well, I understand that I wanted to get that off my chest, but that was not interesting, so I just throw it away. You know.
Did you guys know that dinosaurs are a conspiracy? They're not real. They never existed.
Did you guys know that Endless Jess is a conspiracy? I made him up. He's actually an ARG that I created.
What's the basis?
I've been getting really into this no dinosaurs conspiracy.
All right, I want to know, because
I'm sad about it.
Engaged.
I mean, like, I'm really actually upset about it, because like my baseline is that I believe every conspiracy is true until proven otherwise. So if I just hear something that sounds like outrageous enough, I'm like, oh no, that must be true. Oh no, the world's even worse than I thought it was. And so I found out there's no dinosaurs, that it was all made up. There's a guy, who like I guess like they paleontologists are only allowed to dig in certain areas, and they came in and they put the bones there, and the bones are made up, and they were made out of salt or something. Some shit. I don't know. It made no sense, but I believe it.
God put them there to trick us into thinking that evolution was real.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is that it's like a subset of the evolution is a myth conspiracy.
Guys,
like they want us to believe.
Creations Museum in Kentucky, right across the river from here, and they have confirmed for me that dinosaurs were on the Ark with Noah. They just died of unrelated causes afterward.
Well, I hope so, because that's better than the alternative. The dinosaurs were totally fake and never existed. Because the idea that they existed as we believe, I don't believe that anymore. I already saw the conspiracy, so I have to believe it.
Sounds right.
Because I think the gist of it was that, like, the powers that be don't want us to believe the truth, which is that God created Adam and Eve and they rode on dinosaurs or something.
Okay.
Or they want us to believe that there were dinosaurs and then people were monkeys and then came into, I don't know. The point is, some guy said it, so I believe it. Fuck it. And I'm sad now. I want there to be dinosaurs. You know what? Conspiracies are bullshit. I'm not a conspiracy guy anymore. In fact, I'm anti-conspiracy, and I don't believe anything anyone tells me, unless it's cool. You know what? That's my new philosophy. Forget all my previous philosophies. My new philosophy is only believe what's cool. And if you hear something that sounds cool, it's true. And if you hear something... No. And if it sounds bad, then it's not true. That's it doesn't know. Fake and real are
Honestly,
constructs.
that's like a healthy way to live.
Wait,
that's like a real way to live.
What if I think like basically everything sounds cool no matter how bad it is? Like, am I the only one who, when something like really awful happens, I feel kind of like, yeah.
No, I get what you're saying.
Like, define really bad, Digi. Like a school shooting?
Like 9/11 happened, you were like, yeah.
No,
yeah.
not like that.
Quietly to yourself, like, yeah.
I guess more like complex things that seem like they would happen on TV. You know, you go like, oh shit, that's right. Like, people really are fucking complicated and weird and crazy.
It's like art really does imitate.
No,
life.
I mean, yeah. There's a whole George Carlin bit about that where he's like, I kind of like it when a lot of people die. And it's like, I'm with you, man. I'm with you 100%. It's fucking cool and funny when a lot of people die.
Maybe it'll help me articulate this better, because I literally just sprang into my mind. I don't know how to articulate
and like
it at all.
He made that bit and he recorded it for an album, and like the next day, September 11th happened.
Oh my god!
So like it had that album wasn't released, but it's hilarious.
I just want to say, by the way, before we lose sight of the real point of this conversation, which is dinosaurs being great, Digi Dino has been sitting in a cell for years now. He's turned into a fossil. When will you revive him? Please. Please!
What do you want me to do with Digi?
Please! Have him host meme review or something. I don't know.
I don't even think I have the files anymore. That's on like an old computer.
Don't worry, dude. Don't worry, bro.
She's got you covered.
I got you, bro.
I mean,
we're gonna get like 50 animations.
I'm always hesitant to use. I have like some, certain pieces of old Munchie art on my computer. I'm gonna, in fact, post one in the chat so we can have it in the show notes. One that I've used it one time for a shitty attempt at a freestyle that I posted on SoundCloud.
I don't even remember this.
That's the only thing I've ever used it for. It's this one, the Special Forces Anime Guru Hobo Digi.
Oh yeah, I know, yeah. I remember this.
I'm always hesitant to use any old Munchie art for anything, because Munchie will scream at me about how it's shit art that he made when he was a baby and he needs to redo it and replace it every time.
No, wait. Oh, wait. Okay, Digi. Wait, hold on. I just want to clear my name, by the way, because I understand why you would think that, but I just want to like remind you that like things change, and it's been like 4 years since that has last happened. So
that's not
I don't know
true.
if it's been 4 years, but maybe.
Well,
2
okay,
years.
it's been literal
More
years.
like 4 seconds since Munchie questioned every piece of art he's ever put pen to paper on. And
I think
created.
old Munchie art looks really like grody, for lack of a better word. Like, it looks like weird. If you look at my old like pony art, it's like a fucking like it's like a wax museum. It's like a strange, uncanny experience. But I have no problem with anyone posting it in any context, and I would love it if you were to use any art of mine ever, Digi. So
I'm just gonna use this hobo as my avatar everywhere from now on forever. because this is the best. And this is the best art of me that exists, probably.
But I just make sure you realize that you are Asgore and you are destroying the Undertale. Instead of mercy, it's good taste. Just there. That's the
am I supposed to be Asgore? What the?
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah.
He's got a trident and a cape, I guess.
I had no idea. Ever.
Remember Asgore, guys?
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Best anime ever.
He was daddy. He was daddy in a big way.
Yeah, but see, look at this fucking Dinosaur Hoax page I just linked. I mean, look at how many words are on this page. It must be true, and they've written so many words on this.
Why did they label it themselves as a conspiracy?
Whoa.
No, they labeled it.
Dude, we gotta move to Dinosauria. When everyone's like, "Oh, the sea levels are right now," fuck, I'm fine in Dinosauria.
Guys,
just pack up my bags and go.
The PCP has assigned a single release contract with Dinosauria. It's going to be the one-stop shop for the PCP from now on.
Wait, Jesse. I think you're going to have to rethink your logic here, because there's actually not that many words. If you only go 40% of the way down the page, it becomes the comments. So, like, half of this page is comments, and also the formatting of the page is such that there is just one tiny column. So if you were to expand this to be a full
comments.
Page, it would be like 5 paragraphs, and that's it.
You see, that's right, because I form most of my opinions on 40% of anything.
Makes sense.
That's as much as I care to read.
I just
That's gotta be
saw
some
this on the page, and I appreciate it immensely.
Make your own dinosaur
chicken bones. Wow,
Foolproof instructions for budding paleontologists. Man.
You know that I really wanted to be a paleontologist when I was a kid.
So did I. That's a real kid goal.
Yeah,
I wanted to be an astronomer.
Obviously, because of Jurassic Park, but I had a book called like the Big Book of Dinosaurs. That was like fucking 12,000 pages. This gigantic phone book of just like every page just had a different dinosaur and like a shitload of facts about him, which had blown my mind because there's only like 12 dinosaurs anybody talks about, but this book had like fucking hundreds of dinosaurs in it.
That's pretty.
I was
sick.
more of a space kid.
Honestly,
I like the planets.
If someone
space kid.
Honestly, if someone can actually convince me that dinosaurs never existed, you will make me depressed for the rest of my life.
Well, I mean, this guy, apparently the guy who made this blog, Eric Dubé, I clicked on the link to see, like, what he is. I mean, this is in very tiny resolution, but there's this picture of him, like, in a meditative pose
shit, he looks so
This
smart. Oh, crap.
He definitely wasn't, like, in that bed. He definitely took a picture of himself meditating and then, like, Google searched, like, cool, eclectic meditation bedroom and then photoshopped himself on top of it.
All right.
Yeah, it's a high-level, high IQ
His
move.
blogs, Natural First, Eric's Esoterics, The Atlantean Conspiracy, The Happy Health homepage, and Bangkok Wing Chun.
He's a yoga and Wing Chun part-time teacher while exposing the New World Order. Oh, this is his claim. About,
Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash, they're at it again. The New World Order is always messing shit up for everyone.
I wanted to give a shout out to when I was a kid, I was like, it's weird to think how, like, when I was a kid, I just, like, believed conspiracy theories and wasn't even scared about it. Like, wasn't even, like, placed a lot of, like, emphasis on it. I was just like, oh, spirit science? That's probably true. Oh, just, like, whatever conspiracy, that's just probably true. You know, that makes sense.
I unironically love all conspiracy theories.
Agreed.
And I believe a few of them.
Dude, okay, wait. I've got a recommendation for you, for Jesse. Storm Clouds Gathering. Storm Clouds Gathering has some like, classic Obama conspiracy videos, just classic. A lot of like World War III predictions that he says is going to start in like 2014. So I'm excited to see how he's justified.
It's a very Cold War going on.
Yeah.
Very Cold War.
I want to make a channel just for like a separate YouTube channel just for like talking about conspiracies and how cool they all are. Even the scary ones, especially the scary ones.
I would be down for that 100%.
They're pretty cool.
And have it not even attached to me in any way that anyone can trace back to me. Because the sad thing is that like you can't even appreciate conspiracy theories because if you talk about them at all, people label you something or this or that, or think you're an evil idiot asshole. But it's like, I don't care if it's true or not. They're just fucking cool. They're all so awesome.
Yeah. Have you guys ever
and like
watched
falling down a rabbit
like,
hole and like finding the evidence and like finding like the connections and like hearing like people like the experts on them, like the crypto experts and shit. It's so fun. It's so cool.
Have you ever watched like before Alex Jones did his radio show? He made like huge documentary movies, and I've watched all of them, and they're fascinating.
Oh, okay.
If you never,
I had no idea.
You gotta watch the Obama Deception. That's a fucking masterpiece.
What's the gist of that one?
That Obama's a puppet of the New World Order, and like there's a whole
that's definitely
like,
true.
Easy.
His first like videos where he like storms Bohemian Grove and tries to like break into like this like place where all these like rich people hang out.
That's how you get them. You know, you start them with stuff that's like totally obviously true. Like, yeah, Obama's a puppet of the New World Order. So like that's how you get into conspiracies, and then from there you can slowly get more and more until you're where dinosaurs weren't real. Oh shit! What?
No,
you know, this first
you get to
comment
the bottom of the
by
Alex Jones, it's all about the clockwork elves and the psychic pedophiles.
Oh, you know, the biggest thing he thinks is I've seen some of this. The biggest thing he thinks is that the elites of our world are attempting to create an interdimensional psychic separation where they're going to, I think, clone themselves. It's like literally the plot of Evangelion, where they're trying to like separate themselves onto like a higher plane of existence.
I believe that.
In some interdimensional connection thing, and like leave the rest of humanity behind.
There
or
are
something.
very few things Alex Jones has said that I didn't think. Yeah, that sounds plausible.
I mean,
if I had all the money, I'd probably try to do that.
But...
It definitely seems reasonable to me that there are like extra dimensional beings that have manipulated and convinced the elite of our society that by sacrificing children and having blood rituals, they can ascend to a higher plane of being. By selling humanity's souls, by convincing everybody that we don't have souls.
What else do you have to do at
that's
that
interesting.
point? You've conquered all of society at that point.
I've been getting really into like the paranormal board on 4chan, which is like like poll times 1,000. It's like it's where the really wild stuff happens. If everyone wants to really pull back the lid, I recommend the paranormal board on 4chan. That's the cool shit, because they've got because all the information is like, you know, it's 4chan, so it's all conveniently put into these little PNG images and these little graphs, so you can look at one image and go, oh shit, I understand the whole world now. Everything's fucked and there's no dinosaurs. Shit.
I didn't realize how conspiratorially driven X was, but I guess I should start going on there.
It used to be. Like years and years ago, like when I first started looking at it and stuff, it used to be just like creepypastas and scary shit and like spooky ghosts and stuff. And then from there it turned into like a lot of tulpa shit. And then from there, somehow that morphed into like more like New World Order. I guess because the whole world just got way too political at a certain point. You know, probably around 2016. So, like, all the scary, spooky shit kind of dissipated from X, and it sort of got more and more into, like, hey, you know, these fucking New World Order guys are, like, sacrificing children to alien beings, you know?
Oh,
fuck.
You know what the best part of the 2016 presidential election was learning about Hillary Clinton's spirit cooking. That was legitimately my favorite fucking part, was learning about spirit cooking, about all the crazy shit that Hillary Clinton does in her fucking, like, dance pad orgies with spirit cooking.
What is spirit cooking, and why do I keep hearing about it?
Well, it's because it's my favorite thing in the entire world, and I constantly bring it up. So it's a thing where you take like a mutilated corpse, and then just start eating it and like boiling it and just sort of just fucking around with it in the kitchen and making a delicious meal.
Around, man.
Yeah.
So it's just cannibalism?
Okay, listen to this.
They're
scary
definitely cannibalistic too. That's another big
Urban
aspect
Dictionary's
of
got
the
us
elites.
covered with this. Okay, spirit cooking, verb. An action in which ranking members of the Democratic Party ejaculate into an open wound on the breast milk-soaked left hand in a, quote, art form similar to that of watercolor finger paints.
That doesn't explain anything.
No, I don't understand.
What?
That's the only definition on here, by the way.
It doesn't even have anything to do with eating.
I don't know.
All right.
I'm no
The
expert.
gist of it is that it's spooky cannibalism, not normal cannibalism, but just like specifically is cannibalism meant to scare you.
Actually, the time I heard spirit cooking recently,
totally okay.
Out of interest, I wanted to hear Alex Jones' take on the whole Epstein thing. Who, by the way, was like the thing about Alex Jones that's fucked up is that. He seems to spout these wildly ridiculous claims, and then like 20 years later, he's proved like mostly correct about some of them.
Like everything that we know as being like true in history was at some point labeled a conspiracy theory.
That's true, and I'm not saying that Alex Jones is right all the time.
Like, I remember reading about Epstein and his island in like 2009.
Alex Jones was one of the big guys saying Epstein was up to fuck shit.
Like it's only just now.
Everyone
now is taking it as a given. Like it's like, oh yeah, that totally happened. Well, like when people were saying it was happening 8 years ago, everyone was saying, no, you're a conspiracy buff.
Yeah. I heard Alex Jones say that specifically they were doing satanic spirit cooking on always, Epstein's Island. And
it always has to be like...
Fascinating.
I talk about in some of my videos for the last year or so, this idea I have of the otaku hero, and how it's split between a character that I call the mad scientist and the living computer. And the mad scientist is somebody who can make all these connections and figure out all these things that are happening in the world, and he understands that they must be true, but cannot prove it or cannot find a way to convince people. And the living computer is the extremely logic-driven person who is, able to just, like, take in all this data, but, like, they will only believe something when they have the data in front of them. And
I think there's a third version here, which is the fuck machine, which started with Tenchi Muyo back in the day, which was the original breeder.
Anyway,
but,
I think that a mad scientist will always figure things out before everybody else does, but nobody's going to believe it until the computer has proven it, until
and that's
we
the
have
drama
the data.
Of the series.
And it's just funny because, like, wait, the what? The trauma.
That's the drama. Like, the drama of the series is that he knows something. He's trying to prove it to the rest of the world. And
that's just the life story of Johnny Oldschool.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the life story of anybody. Like, anybody who is capable of recognizing things they can't explain. It's just like, you can talk about it all day, but nobody's going to believe it until they see the data. And, like, I think all of us have a few things that we are fairly confident are true, and we're like, I know that I've seen all the connections, but I don't know how to verbalize them, or, like, I don't know where I could pull the evidence from, or, like, I don't have the science to back it, but it is observably the case,
Most people feel that way, I'm sure.
Yeah, and, like, other people will just say, oh, you say it's observably the case, but, I mean, it could be this other thing, and it's like, okay, yeah, I guess it could be that, but also... this is obviously true, So with something like the Epstein thing, it's like, yeah, unless there was evidence, no matter how obvious it might have been that it was true, it's just not going to be
And I mean,
believed.
like, when you hear something that at first sounds completely impossibly insane and outrageous, like all the millionaires and billionaires are secretly fucking kids, but then that turns out to be true, well, then why wouldn't you also believe, oh, yeah, also, by the way, the world is run by, like, satanic cannibals also. Like, yeah,
Possible.
I believe it.
Possible.
I mean, fuck, no one believed the kids thing, but that turned out to be true. Fuck it.
I mean, we're just talking about, like, the path of conspiratorial thinking.
I mean,
which
this first comment here
I get it.
by Anonymous really spells out how we all feel. I think he goes, dude, my brain can't handle another lid being blown off the lie machine. First I find they messed with the shape of the Earth, set up a military-industrial complex like space agency, and now all the dinosaur bones shoved in my face since I was a child is a hoax too? My heart is broken. I have been lied to on so many levels my whole life. Why? The only thing that makes the most sense is their fear of God and his power to make or break creation. If anything, it proves more and more we have been warned in the Bible that the enemy is the father of lies.
Yeah.
What's next? Radical Islam is the pure religion, and the sheeple will run to it. So sad.
So sad.
I'm with you, Anonymous. I feel you. Yeah.
What about
written by my alter ego, Anonymous?
What does he mean? They fucked with the shape of the Earth.
He's talking about flat Earth shit. Clearly, he's clearly you know.
He's sick.
But like not like
what they unflattened the Earth. Like the Earth was flat, but these fucking globalists. Like
That's why they're called the globalists.
Yes, the parentheses globalists took that flat Earth and wrapped it into a ball just to
so
fuck
they
with
could
all
hold
of
it in their
us.
hands as they power over everything.
The deepest conspiracy of all, to turn the world into a globe.
They did it! They did it! Those monsters!
You maniacs! We can't top this. Go.
PCPHQ ice wall. We should do it at the ice wall.
Rad-Con 5 atop the ice wall. These
We
are
prove the Earth is flat at Rad-Con 5. That's the
Someone
big
had to
vlog.
do it.
That's the big vlog. Unedited.
all right. Let's go to voicemails, people. Link below. Speak pipe. Leave us voicemails. You know the drill, people. We'll play the good ones. We got like 6, I think. Okay, first one. This is from, I think it's a misspelled Rusty Shackleford, but I think that's the idea he was going for. And he's apparently got a big problem. So let's see what he's got for us. Go.
All right, PCP, I got a big fucking problem for you.
Okay.
So I just recently moved into college, and, my dorm mates, they're pretty cool guys, no problems there. The big problem is I can't fucking have time to jack off here. There's no fucking privacy. There's always somebody in the dorm that would hear me do it, and I just need to do it. I need to jack off.
Bruh.
Please tell me how I can find time to jack off.
I got it. I know the answer.
Enough,
dude.
Yeah, that's definitely you problem. That's
You got
like,
it. Get a girlfriend, bro. Get a girlfriend. And here's why. People will leave you alone with your girlfriend thinking you're going to have sex with her, but then you can jack off.
It's not a bad strategy, but I also think I've shared rooms with people many times. I've gotten away with jacking off nightly with other people in the room. All you gotta do is build on the edge of your bed. Just put like a fuckload of blankets and pillows. Just like build a fort essentially, like a wall of I shared my room with two other guys. I had a big, just like one half of my bed. I just had like all of my pillows and blankets just stacked on that side of the bed, so you could not see. I mean, I don't know if there's a reason that you're jacking off is loud, but I mean, all you need is to not be seen, right?
Digi,
So,
I don't know.
I mean, if you're on the
If you got a
bottom bunk of
creaky
a
bed.
bunk bed, that's probably pretty difficult. I mean, put up a sheet.
They're gonna feel
just
the vibrations.
Put a cover, around your bed, like just staple a sheet around.
I think
your
it's
bed.
generally
Do it in the
considered
bathroom.
socially uncouth to do it with other guys in the room.
I'm not gonna pretend
Dude, I don't care about the socially uncouth. You have to jack off. You can't just not jack off.
I'm not going to pretend like I haven't, in emergency situations, jacked off with other guys in the room. I certainly have, as I think most God-fearing Americans have been pressed to do.
If you
but
have
it's
to
not
share a
the ideal.
room with other guys, it's like you're either sacrificing jacking off forever or you're jacking off in a room with other guys.
You could just go do it in the bathroom.
That's the obvious
That's-
choice.
Like, I don't understand why it's even a question of, like,
Look,
you
okay,
Why do you
look,
have
look,
to do it in the room?
bathroom.
I mean, some of us don't like to hide our activity. We don't like to build a wall of shame between us. Some people like to sit in an office chair like a man, pull down our pants, and go to town on a big, wide computer screen with sound at maximum so everyone can hear what I'm doing.
Yeah, what does this mean?
You can improve
that jacking off can be quiet. I don't believe you.
You can improve your hygiene as well. You can just go take a shower whenever you want to jack off.
That's a lot of
and
work.
then
That's
kill
a lot of
noise
kill
when you
two
jack
birds
off.
with one
What if
stone.
What produces
okay.
noise?
Look,
I
I've done
personally,
this.
I like to jack off when I go to bed. Like, it helps me get to sleep. As I think Jesse once said, it's the only activity that can wake you up in the morning and put you to bed at night.
Sure.
I don't remember saying
Words
that,
to
but it's
live by.
funny, so I'll take credit for it.
I think you said that. But yeah, it's I can't. I have like a Pavlovian response. Like the second I lay down in bed, I get an erection, so I have to do something about it.
Shit.
Look, I know exactly
Same.
how this guy's...
I hate it. I can't stand
It's
it.
unfortunate.
And the second I see a woman, it's gone.
I remember this exact problem when I was in college. I shared rooms and stuff. I remember, like, I should be like, sure, I remember I had my PSP because this was like before I had a smartphone. I'd bring my PSP with the like 4 porn tracks that I had loaded onto there. I would trundle my fat ass down to the bathroom and jerk off a few into the turlet, and it was horrible, and it was shameful, and it was terrible. Like,
Jacking
like
off
to
in a
watch
bathroom
porn.
is not that comfortable. Like,
No, it's not.
I agree.
Even in the
Try
shower,
to
I mean, even in the shower, like
I would feel so. It would feel uncomfortable doing it with like you're in the bed. There's another guy in like the bed across the room or whatever, and you're like. I don't know. Doesn't it take you out of it? Oh, what if he hears me? Oh, what if he sees the vibrations
just
or whatever?
fucking
Like,
build a good enough system
if
that
you're-
they can't. Like, again, if you're on the bottom bunk of a bunk bed, just literally staple a fucking like blanket or something around your bed and just have a sheet.
Notice how we're offering no real solutions to his problem. We're
What do you
telling him
mean?
like,
Wait.
that's not a solution, Digi.
How is that not
a
a
solution?
wait? He asked, "How do I get away with jacking off with other people in the room?" I'm talking about a permanent.
Okay,
Put
I
a
guess
sheet
that's fair.
around your bed forever. Don't just do it when you jack off. Just put it around for privacy purposes. Because then you could have a fucking fort you live in. Like, it's, first of all, I would do this even if it wasn't for jacking off.
Just pretend that you're retarded, and then you can do it in front of
with your bro while you're sleeping, and like good God-fearing Americans.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna have to do it secretly with other guys in the room, you might as well just do it openly with other guys in the room. You might as well all jack off together. You might as well just all be gay. You might as well just be boyfriends with your boys.
This method is tested and proven by me. It works. Build a fort of blankets. Jack off quietly.
Whatever happened to hiding a bunch of playboys in a tree stump in the woods? Whatever happened to that?
I mean, that works too.
Back when I grew up in the 1970s, that's what we did.
Solid plan.
Yeah, jacking off in the woods is also a good option.
In the woods. Good. Also.
Yeah, in the 100-acre wood.
That's where Christopher went.
The only problem with jacking off in the woods is A, in the winter, cold. B,
yeah, that's true.
Bugs. Gross.
Winter's coming. I think that's what the Starks were talking about.
You know,
when they said winter's coming.
We saw the Christopher Robin movie where he's like old and he's reconnecting with Pooh. I want to see like the middle school era. Winnie the Pooh movie, where Christopher Robin, all of his friends want to hang out with him in the 100-acre woods, but he's like, I just came in here to jack off, Pooh. Leave me alone. God damn.
Oh my God, this reminds me of this was probably the most. It was that exact scenario you just described, but it was of Andy in Toy Story. It was a robot chicken skit, and it was that he became a teenager and was like, oh God, this makes me actually want to cry. It was Buzz Lightyear, and he's like, oh shit, we don't have a bong. This'll do. And they grab him, they like stick a straw into his brain, and then they like use him as a bong, and then they put him back. And Bong's like, oh, what happened, guys? Are we going to play today? And Woody's like, it's okay, Buzz. It's okay. You're going to make... I want to actually cry thinking about how he fucked up Buzz Lightyear and made him literally retarded. It's not... How could you do that, Robot Chicken? You went too far. Okay, let's do another voicemail before I burst into tears.
He probably filmed himself coming all over Bo Peep a few times and posted it on 4chan.
Most people do. That's just part of growing up. Okay, next voicemail is... Unhuman Core, and if I remember correctly, I think this guy was kind of hard to understand, so pay attention.
So you picked it. Great.
Okay, yes, it's good.
So, last episode was trying to come up with the definition of human core, you guys. Didn't exclamation conclusion, but I came to a conclusion about the most unhuman core thing I ever did, and I think it might help you guys, because it's exactly the opposite of human core, monster core, demon core thing I ever did. So, I went to the movies with this shirt my grandma bought to me. It was a floral pattern. Got me looking pretty gay. What? So, when I got inside the movie theater with my boys, I decided to bring up the scene from The Simpsons. I don't know if you ever saw that episode. It's the best fucking episode of The Simpsons. The one where they meet John Waters, they meet a gay man, and then Homer gets paranoid that Bart might be gay, and Bart comes like walking like a little faggot with a fucking flower shirt. So I got on my seat to imitate that scene. I accidentally kicked my fucking popcorn on the floor, and my friends started laughing at me. I fucking ate the fucking popcorn right out of the fucking floor, looking straight into their fucking eyes, so they know they don't fucking own me. I am a slave to society. I don't live in that society. I am the guy from 7. I am the Joker combined. I am a demon.
What the? So that's his Demon's Core story. That's the most
Demon Core. Demon Core is eating your movie popcorn off
while
the
staring
floor
your friends in the eyes.
After you kick it off your lap because you're laughing so hard at the scene where Bart's cross-dressing in the John Waters episode of The Simpsons.
Yes.
Wait, I thought he was
Very
in a movie
Demon
theater.
Core.
Yeah,
He was,
understood.
but he just
I understood none of it.
watching The Simpsons on his phone in the movie theater.
You misunderstand. He didn't. I think his friends did it maliciously to make fun of him, and that's why he's defiantly eating the popcorn off the ground.
You think
That's
so?
why he said that
Okay.
you don't own me. That's why he's saying he's looking in friends.
I mean,
the eye
it's
saying,
fucking
you don't
honestly like we're all trying to interpret because I could. It was
That was
all of my
like-
mental ability
yeah.
to understand that guy's voice.
What fucking accent?
That was like
is that?
was like a fast Andre the Giant. Hulk Hogan.
All right. Well, that mystery behind us.
Something South American? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just
African.
tell me where you're from, Unhuman Core.
Okay. Next up, Stalin's ghost is calling in. All right. Let's do it. Go.
Hello. This is Stalin's ghost. Yes.
God.
This is Z Stalin recording from hell, where all the fucking pinko Komi scum go when they die.
Okay. Sure.
I have message for Mr. Nate Beastman. Just a little something that's been on my mind for quite a while. And I just needed to call about it to set the record straight. And by straight,
right.
I mean fuck you, Nate. Multiple fucking times on the podcast. Nate, best guy ever, has referred to highly civilized and ancient practice of programming as motherfucking coding. And I'm just wanting to say, Nate, my dude, have some fucking self-respect.
Okay.
I don't blame Tom or Munchie. They're just little pissy babies that haven't gone to school to learn this shit. Be advised, Nate Beastman. You are on notice, and we are watching you for further infractions. Slava Rodinia.
Is coding like a disrespectful way to refer to programming or something?
They're just
Wait,
different.
okay.
Well, they're not the same thing, are they?
Coding
Aren't they?
means creating codes from one language to another. Programming means to program a machine to perform a certain set of instructions.
But you write code to program, right?
I
So
have
that's
no
coding.
idea. I have no clue.
This sounds like some semantic bull.
That guy's
It
does.
definitely is.
Did that guy's fake accent sound like Man Mode's real accent?
A little bit. Is he Russian? No, he's
He
Ukrainian,
sounded a little
right?
bit.
I don't
He
know
sounded a
where
little
he's
bit Wisconsin. A little bit of Wisconsin.
That might have been bleeding through.
Don't you know?
Maybe Stalin escaped Russia and is living in Wisconsin this very day. That's
AKA
my
hell.
well. He is actually Stalin's ghost, and he did say was calling in from hell. So okay, I guess never mind on that one. Okay, moving on. Quarren, I guess, is calling in. Okay, great, go.
All right, listen up, you judsters. Watching Rad-Con 3 content was some of the best fucking shit I've ever seen on YouTube.
Nice.
Now, I won't say that I'll be able to provide every single cent that is needed to fund Rad-Con 4, where I will remind you, Munchie is now fully legal and fully fuckable, so orgy is totally possible. Not gonna lie. But if you were to have an upward limit of, like, imagination of how much Rad-Con would require financially, what would that be? And how much gay sex would be provided? Thanks.
Is this
Bye.
guy like a billionaire investor or something?
He's
our angel investor.
I think he's a 100-air investor and has a few $100 to fliff around.
Hey,
how
Rad-Con
much?
4 plans have been started
They've been
to be
discussed.
floated around. We're probably gonna try to do it. We'll probably like just request this like around the same amount of money because that seems like reasonably what we can get. But like, you know, we'll promote it more. We'll probably keep our costs a little lower because we literally have run over budget on all of these so far. So like, you know, we're gonna try to make sure everybody actually gets paid this time. So if you're asking what the absolute most that we would ask for is, it would be infinite. Like, we want as much money as possible to do the thing, obviously.
I can't see us going above our last. We did $9,001. That's gotta be like, I can't possibly see us asking.
Is it literally
for even
9,001?
I mean, that was the joke for T-Bat Resurrection.
Right, but how much
9,
did we actually make? Like
9,185.
It was in the 9,000.
Right.
I remember
So,
the meme number. I think it was 9,185.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're probably. We did a pretty good job with 3 of like not over promising too much, like keeping it reasonably to stuff we knew we could do, and then having a lot of time to do other shit. So like we'll probably use a similar tactic next time of like, you know, there'll be a few core things that'll be, but like you know, there are ways that we can make it so it might be more worthwhile to pay more, or that just you know. Yeah, again, though, I think the focus this time is going to be on, like, keeping the cost lower and making sure everybody gets paid.
And I think, like, yeah, the getting paid is part of the equation. But, like, one of the things was, like, for example, with T-BAP Resurrection, like, with all the shipping and everything ate up so much more money than we thought it was going to, that, like, I think Ben and I think we made, like, I made $0. I definitely lost money. I think we got paid
like
$1, like, for doing all of
I
T-BAP Resurrection.
Because of the fact that I got a hotel so that May could come with me to Boston, it was, like, a huge deficit for me.
Yeah, it's understandable. I mean, it's almost like we provided a place to stay for you, and you chose not to use it. But
fair enough. You provided a place for me to stay, and I don't travel alone.
So. That's true. That's true. All right. Well, whatever. There you go, people. There's some information. We'll get back to you. We'll let you know what's going on.
Rad-Con 4. For me, it's gonna be all lectures. It's just gonna. That's my goal for Rad-Con 4 is crank out like at least two new lectures, maybe more.
Can you tell us, like, let's get people hype right away? What kind of lectures you got in mind? If there's any,
if you want to.
Well, I know for sure I will do a Sonichu 102.
Excellent. Finally, a 102
I will
course.
Definitely do a follow up to the Chris Chan lecture. I had another idea to do one about the Digi clips.
Right,
which is the thing.
One,
is that the cult of the real digital believers?
It sounds great.
Like, I have scrubbed the old sources and all the archives of the forums have been deleted, so it would be it would be short.
Ladies and gentlemen,
there's just not much.
If
out
by any
there
chance our listeners have any info on that would be of use, please let us know in the comments. That would actually be very helpful.
If anyone's got resources about the Digiclips and the real digital believer or the real Digimon believers.
Ben was in there deep. It's just that all the forums got cleared or something, right?
When it was being raided by something awful, I was in there watching the chaos, and now the archives don't exist.
That's fucked up.
Jesse,
have you tried the Wayback Machine or anything?
I have, yes. I had very little luck with that.
Jesse, if you were to come to Rad-Con 4, I really want an Insane Clown Posse lecture.
Yeah, that's the one that I probably would do that I've been thinking about. I don't know why I haven't done a lecture yet. I know why. It's because I detest planning for anything, and I like to show up at the last minute, 2 days into it, and be like, I don't know why the fuck I'm here, and just go with whatever happens.
Yeah.
I know, the idea of planning and getting a whiteboard and drawing stuff on. It's
it's fucking easy, dude.
No,
we just bullshitted most of them as we went along.
I don't know about you guys. I spent 2 whole days before my planning it out and making notes and arranging things on a whiteboard and like putting thumbtacks and things and putting red strings.
What do I look like to use? A guy who's not lazy?
For the Kingdom Hearts one, I literally did zero preparation.
I'll be honest. I had wanted to do a Coheed and Cambria one, and I still might, but there is a lot of research I would have to do in terms of just reading all the comics and tie-in novels and all that bullshit.
Yeah, fuck that,
which
bruh.
is a little gay. And also, it occurred to me that it'll be a weird lecture to give to a bunch of people who don't really know the music, because
that's
a big part of the intrigue as a fan is oh wow, that song is about this. That's crazy. But the story is nonetheless.
I don't know if I said
this.
About. I don't know if I said this on a podcast before, but the after the time skip and after Chris's transition and everything, there comes a point in Sonichu where the lore becomes completely insane, and it goes the comic basically just completely breaks down, and there's so much shit that is canonically occurring that it just has to happen in text dump and montage, but it's in there, it's canon.
Fascinating.
And it just all comes in at once, and it just completely muddies the waters of what the deal is, and it needs a lecture.
Well, fantastic. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Is he still Oh, never mind.
I could do an ICP one. Is he
still making comics? Yeah, slowly.
I could do an Insane Clown Posse one, and I could definitely feasibly do a wrestling one. I just don't know the angle I would approach that from to really encompass
that's a huge topic.
Yeah.
What's his face? Max Landis with just his what's that? Who's the one?
It's all just about Triple H.
That's not wrestling. You know what? It would be the most entertaining to me, Jesse. Would just be the whole history in as brief as possible
of wrestling,
of the company.
No, of just all anything currently relevant. Anything that has affected the way things are now. like getting you caught up to speed kind of
like
lecture.
the current wrestling landscape.
Like if you wanted to get into wrestling and just tune in tomorrow.
How to get into wrestling?
That actually would be pretty useful.
That would work. Yeah,
because I'd kind of like something like that, so I could be up on shit.
Or I could just do an entire lecture all about the Repo Man.
That sounds great.
The greatest wrestler of all time. He was a guy with like a Hamburglar mask and a rope, and he would go around and he would repossess people's shit. He'd repossess your car, and the only way to stop him from repossessing your stuff is to beat him in a wrestling match. He's a real guy.
Just with this one mention, I think you've created a demand, a searing, massive demand, and at very least at me, if no one else.
Right.
I want to know the full tale of the Repo Man now.
I mean,
that's pretty much it. That's the full tale of it right there.
Oh, wow. It's a great lecture. Thanks.
Hey,
Okay.
Also, here's an idea. A lot of us know a lot of things that we've talked about, and we don't remember what those things are. So if anybody else remembers something that you think we should do a lecture on because you think we could,
that's fair.
Yeah,
I mean, why
not? Yeah, what do you want? What do you want me to do a lecture on? I'm open to suggestions.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. I do plan on doing Animorphs for the next lecture.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, that's
a great idea.
That's great. Like I'm the target audience for that.
I'm ready. Same. It's gonna be good.
I'm going to throw out a number, though, just to answer the question at the beginning, like how much. Here's my guess. I bet if we are able to raise $5,000 as some kind of minimum, I'm sure that's like a good target for us to like start with. But okay, whatever. That's totally made up. We'll see if that pans out.
I bet we could get more. Like I bet we could have a final number that was bigger than the last one.
But I'm just saying.
Like the goal of the Kickstarter should ultimately be higher than the last one was, because the last one had stretch goals that went all the way to 9,000, but the initial goal should be higher and then should have stretch goals that go higher than that. But like I would like us to make more money for the next one, not because I think we should raise the cost of it, but just because again we have gone over budget every time. I still have all the fucking uncreated Blu-rays sitting in a box in my closet that I have I can't afford to do it, so
I don't really
wait Rad-Con Blu-rays?
Yes, Rad-Con 2 Blu-rays, the Plebe and the Weeb Blu-rays that me and Jesse signed. We signed like 100 cases, and I have 100 cases and 100 fucking discs blank sitting in my closet.
Okay, but Plebe and the Weeb wasn't a Rad-Con Kickstarter.
That was,
Plebe and the Weeb wasn't a Kickstarter.
It was.
No,
I mean created Rad-Con 2 was paid for by the Plebe and the Weeb Kickstarter, but it was really my Kickstarter that I had roped Jesse into.
Yeah.
Was it really paid for? Did we get
reimbursed
everybody's
everybody's flight was paid for by it.
Yeah,
like all the
stretch goal.
Every stretch goal of the Kickstarter was somebody's flight.
Oh, because
that's right.
Because of the guest appearances.
That's right. That's right.
The idea of it was supposed to be that, because when we did the first Rad-Con, we were all like, oh, like we could do this every year, like we were going to BronyCon, or because we could all afford to meet up once a year. We were like, let's meet up more often. Let's try to do a Kickstarter backed one so that we can meet up sooner. And so it was just a few months later, and just the Kickstarter was a huge success. So we were like, oh yeah, let's fucking do it. And then once there was a Kickstarter involved, there were backer rewards and ways to go over budget, and suddenly it was a different kind of animal,
You gotta get those Blu-rays out, dude.
I
Crack
can't
was
afford
telling me
it.
that he's still waiting for his.
I cannot afford to.
What do you need to afford it? Like what's stopping you?
Shipping costs.
Shipping costs, and I have to get art made. I have to
burner,
actually print. I do not have a Blu-ray burner, so
that's probably not too expensive anymore. Probably.
But yeah,
I mean, at this point, you might as well wait, because your original thing on the Kickstarter was to do two more seasons of it,
right?
And
we still haven't made the second.
We did
season
2.
Is that really going to happen, though? I mean, let's be real.
It could.
Here.
I mean, me and Jesse made 4 episodes of a season 2. I think that they are.
Okay, we made season 2, and it took forever, but I was really happy with how it turned out. And I thought, at the time, I thought, should there be more? I don't know. This seems like a good way to end it and stuff. But Digi came over to my house in the summer of 2017. And we recorded 4 episodes in the furnace room, which I don't know. They just without Vic being there to film it, I thought it looked shitty.
It looked really bad because
it didn't look on par with like what we had. I didn't want to go back in terms of quality.
Yeah.
So I don't think the show can really be done without Vic. If we do a season 3, I mean, I've sort of like been taking notes and like writing down episode ideas every once in a while. So I've got about like 10 or so ideas for episodes of it. So we could do.
We should have
just another season, and instead of like I don't know what to do about those 4 that we filmed, and maybe I could just release those 4 episodes as season 3, and season 3 can be crappy and short like My Little Pony season 3, and then we can do season 4 the next time or whatever.
We should have a Rad-Con 4 stretch goal. Digi actually releases the DVDs, the
if
Blu-rays.
we wanted to do that, I could, but like this is what happens with a lot of Kickstarters is that they are like, as soon as you start, the number one thing
not
that
Rad-Con 3, baby. We did it.
Yeah,
you win, ladies and gentlemen.
we did go over budget for Rad-Con 3. Like we
lost money, but that means we got the moral victory, and I'm okay with that.
Well, that's right.
The biggest thing that goes wrong with Kickstarters is that every time you add in a new thing, it increases the cost of everything else in kind. So it's like, I stretch goals, fly a person out. Okay, well that's like another trip to the airport, another person who has to be basically taken care of for the time they're there, like drive them around, make sure they get their food. Like they have to now spend money more than they would living at home because they're eating out all the time with their friends and like all this shit. Like all that cost doesn't get factored in when we make the Kickstarter goals.
Crowdfunding is bad. I don't believe in it.
You just gotta know. You just gotta
plan it out.
Well,
and Rad-Con 3 really helped us.
My Vapors Kickstarter was a huge success.
Yeah.
And it didn't go over
far
budget.
more humble.
And all my stretch goals were delivered upon. And Vapors 2 will be the same.
For the record, absolutely
it will be a triumph.
For the record, absolutely nothing is my fault in terms of the DVDs and the Plebe and the Weeb. I literally woke up one day and saw my name on a Kickstarter that I had no idea about that already had like $8,000 attached to it. And I'm just like, well, I guess I'm doing this now.
It pretty much went like I said, hey, Jesse, we should do a Kickstarter for Plebe and the Weeb Season 2. And he was like, sure. And then I posted it immediately. Like, I just did that. And then, but no, I mean, the circumstances around it were crazy. Like, it's not... I don't feel bad at all. Like, I don't give a shit if anybody thinks that was like a failure because it was absolutely
I don't consider it a failure
insane
just because I think the episodes turned out really good.
Yes, people enjoyed it. It came out good. I am still holding on to all these fucking Blu-rays, so it's not as though it is... It's not as though I've given up
by the
on
time
it,
you're done with these.
I don't really give a shit. I mean, like, whatever. Time is completely relative. One time I've told this story before, but one time my friend bought me $60 worth of art books, and I told him I'll pay you back when I get a job. It took me 6 years to get a job, but I paid him back on my first paycheck. I will get the fucking Blu-rays out,
Okay, there you go. Fair enough.
The thing about it is we just need to set the amount that we make just a lot higher than the cost of what it sounds like it should cost, And
of course we feel a desire to not do that, so it's easier to meet the goal, but that's a negative if we end up just missing
I would
money.
say, set the goal higher than the amount we need. Make sure people are actually getting paid to do it. Because that's another thing with Rad-Con 3, like we covered the cost of it, but that doesn't include actually paying anybody, which becomes a problem when the editing starts and all of us have to get we have to rush back to our own Patreons to make more money.
Yes, very true.
Nobody has time to edit the shit that we did at Rad-Con, so like there needs to be editing fees, actual payment for doing it, and then just factoring in additional costs to just have around, like maybe like a bubble.
I feel
like $100 bubble that just goes to whatever it's needed for, and then once everything's complete, that money would just be dispersed to everybody equally or something. But like,
I totally agree,
cushions,
and I just think that. Yeah, cushions are super important. There's things we don't predict. But just like after Rad-Con, like not even just the way that we assessed costs with Rad-Con 3, which was too little and we'll know somewhat better next time. But like even
we
beyond
weren't even that off. It was only like what? How much did we go
Well,
over?
I mean, dude, the biggest thing we were off about was shipping costs. Shipping costs were so much more. That right there. But the thing is, we have the numbers of exactly what it costs for Tom to ship those out. Not that it would necessarily be him again, but that is a super valuable piece of data. So we know exactly. Like we can way more accurately determine.
Even better
shit.
now, Digi's found a way to get shipped cheaper from his.
Yes. Stamps.com is a great way to ship things cheap.
We will definitely.
Wait, what.com?
Stamps.com.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, well yeah, that's great. So I think that we actually said 5,800 was the minimum. So it's probably going to be more than that, people, for the next one. So I was just going to say,
we can do it. I mean, people loved Rad-Con 3. We got that funded after post Rad-Con 2. Rad-Con 3 still got funded. Rad-Con 3 went well. People love the results. I don't know if there's going to be people saying, hey, I want to pay for Rad-Con 3, but Stealing Your Dad still isn't out. So, I don't know.
Was that a promise, though?
No, it wasn't promised, but I mean, it was promised by me to people that we had done it and it would come out.
That's fair. I will say the last thing on this is just that, like, I don't like doing things where I don't make a profit doing them. I just don't like doing them. Yeah. So I really want to make sure that future Rad-Cons are not just a financial black hole, because I'm trying to earn while doing things like this, not just lose just because they're fun.
Yeah, no, I want to do it because, I do think, like that guy said, a lot of the best content we've done comes out of it, just because it's such a unique experience that, like, when else would you get anything like it, Yeah.
What I like about living in Boston is that now I'm with, like, Ben, and we, like, hang out, like, for fun, like we're friends or something.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
It's weird, right?
It's really cool because
it's quirky.
What I like about Rad-Con is a lot of just being around people who are also creative and I also respect and I think are like interesting and I like to talk to, and not and just outside of even just the pure like carnal mortal pleasure of being with your friends, which is great. Also, just like being with other like creatives and like coming up with ideas and projects together is like really interesting and valuable, and I love.
What's cool about Rad-Con is that we're all there to make stuff.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yes, very true.
We're all on the same page about what we're doing.
It's basically just like lightning ideas all the time. It's just like everybody's sitting around going like, okay, well, we did that thing. What do we do now?
And I'd say that, like,
literally like, oh, Nate and Hippo are doing a podcast in that room, so fuck them. What can we do that is like that? Not only we can do without them, but also that is funny specifically because they are in that room doing that while we do this.
When I think about just the idea of Rad-Con, my instinct is like, oh, a bunch of people get together and make shit. Sounds gay as shit. Except that every time we do it, it just produces such actually good things that, like, I'm constantly kind of astounded. Like, wow, that's actually really funny and good.
I still have yet to post the someday to be award-winning sitcom, The Man and the Boy.
Oh my God, The Man and the Boy.
How's The Man and the Boy not alive yet?
Is that like the only Munchy Jesse content? Like,
I think it is.
Probably.
Yeah, man. Me and Munchie at Rad-Con 3, we
very impromptu.
We conceived, filmed, improvised, and created an entire sitcom called The Man and the Boy, and there's multiple episodes, and it's probably
I think
nightmare,
you can tell
but it's great.
Jesse plays the titular man, and I play the titular boy, and the adventures we get up to are unparalleled in scope and execution.
We have to get that out because it's never going to happen again. If you do another season, it's just going to be The Man and the Man.
Oh my God!
No.
Yeah, and if Munchie doesn't release the Stealing Your Dad's episodes, then it won't be easy anymore. It'll be hard to steal dads.
It will always be easy.
I don't know. It seems pretty difficult right now.
Yeah, it seems like it's been. It
seems like a big labor.
Hard for me to steal a dad if I can't watch the episode.
Okay, all right.
Maybe.
Enough of this, people. Let's move on. We've got two quick last ones. Okay, first of all, we've got Mozilla Fennekin, Human Core. And this was the guy, this Mozilla was the one who asked us last time, what is Human Core? So let's hear.
Oh, so now we can
thrilling disclosure.
I just want to say that just something about Human Core, just it rubs me the wrong way. And like just phonetically, just like there's just something I don't like.
I thought you were the one who like invented it. I thought you were the Human Core.
I invented.
Yeah, we had this discussion last time.
I remember me inventing it too, though I guess I will defer to Ben that he invented it.
Oh, okay. So if anyone remembers the invention of Human Core,
let us know.
Who invented Human Core?
It was I think it was like either one of us invented it, the other person ran with it. Just either or. I think it was definitely like developed over time.
Okay, well let's hear.
However,
let's hear patron
I want you all to know.
Yeah.
I want you all to know that you can buy Human Core shirts at teespring.com/stores/Ben-Saint.
Oh my god,
or
all right, a lot of
save,
I'm
save
selling
your money
them.
from
I'm
that,
selling.
And
You're
instead
buying
of giving
them.
Ben $5 on Teespring, just buy a shirt from me directly, where I'll get all the proceeds.
I get $10 per shirt. Thank you very much. $9.50.
I've been told that the shirts from Teespring smell bad and don't fit well.
Not my experience.
They don't fit well.
I think they're fine.
Oh my. Okay, I don't. All right, if you guys say so, I get the classic V-neck, and they all fit great. And like my Teespring shirts are like my favorite shirts that I own. And
well, if you like
V-necks,
V-necks, buy Ben's shirts.
Okay, all right. Let's go. Patron saint of Human Core, paragon of wisdom in the Human Core sphere, Mozilla Fennekin, educate us. Go.
Last time I asked you what the most human core thing ever is. It's something that all humans do and nothing else does it. It's only a human thing.
Shitting.
Your responses were very thoughtful and very interesting. I appreciate that you participated in this. And so, you're wrong. The most human core thing ever is having a bathroom. Okay, hear me out.
Oh, get out of here!
I already said shitting. I was right.
Listen, every animal or whatever, it's like they just kind of shit wherever.
Okay.
Except
This is so bad.
That's not even true.
We have our own designated shit space.
No, they
like,
do.
We have to have our own room.
What is a fucking litter box?
Privacy. I mean, you might think, well, cats have a box or whatever, but we decide that for them.
No, they would do that anyway.
Not for that. They just kind of shit wherever. Same thing with dogs. Like, we just kind of say, don't shit in the house. They'll just shit wherever. We're like the only people that just don't decide to just shit on the floor or throw it around or wherever. God, humans are so fucking weird. What happened?
Okay. I'm pretty sure.
I know that's a stupid answer.
Yeah.
Right?
Get out
of here.
Oh, he admits it too.
Oh,
all right,
weak.
I'm pretty
jail.
sure there are animals who have designated, like monkeys must have like a place they go to shit, right? They don't just like, well, unless they live in the trees, I don't know. But the ones that live on the ground must have like a place.
They've got to, right?
Shit.
I don't think he did any research.
Or they shit in the river or something.
There has to be
This has
another
gotta be a
animal
thing.
that has a shit place.
I'm sure there is. I'm gonna Google it right now.
Yeah.
Do animals shit in a
place?
Do they shit in a society?
Oh, okay, right here, Earth.
Yeah.
Animals invented public toilets long before we did. Article on the BBC from 2015. I'm afraid you're done. You're all done, Chief.
Animal latrine, places where the wildlife animals habitually defecate or urinate. There's a whole list of them, and the whole list of people that do it.
No. Only humans have toilets. Only humans shit in the same spot.
Mozilla Fennekin,
Idiot.
we're just gonna lambast you for that.
You're
going in the voice
stupid.
jail.
You're so fucking stupid.
Voice jail.
Yeah,
Mozilla,
voice jail.
not
Voice
only
jail.
long-time
Colin,
listener,
with something that
many
just is
voice
factually
messages.
wrong, but then you have the gall to admit that it's stupid. You weren't even sticking to your fucking guns. I fucking hate you, Mozilla Fennekin. Kill yourself. Kill yourself. All right, let's.
He's
fuck
going
this
to
guy.
jail. He's going to jail. Mozilla Fennekin. I'm sorry. You were a good man for a long time. You gave us good stuff, but it's fucking over, dude. All right. Well, incidentally,
Game over.
Incidentally, we have one more voice message from one Mozilla Fennekin. Actually, and it's called Special Announcement. It's a special announcement from a man in jail.
No.
Let's hear what he has to say. Okay. All right. Go.
Hey, PCP, sorry I haven't submitted
Hello.
a voicemail in a long time. I've been so busy doing this fucking compilation of all of the best and worst voicemails in the PCP's history.
And you're the worst.
You heard that
Oh my
right.
God.
A best and worst of compilation of PCP voicemails, because that's the only thing people care about with this podcast now. This is an ongoing project, and to prove that I'm not completely full of shit, I have already made a compilation for the 2018 episodes. You can find it at my side shit channel, Lux Van Levixi. That's LuxVan Luvixi. I'm going to post a 2019 compilation at the end of the year, but I'd like some feedback from some other people, suggestions as to which voicemails to include would be nice. But mainly, I want to know if I should include 2018's voicemails in the 2019 compilation, since voicemails weren't really introduced until around August last year. It also has some continuing sagas, like the Great Discord War that happened. So let me know. Comment on the video. You can find me on Twitter at Mozilla Fennekin. I'm in the Patreon Discord as well. I'm really easy to find.
Okay.
And,
he's in the voice
jail. I just wanted to let you know that's what I'm doing. See you in like 5 months, unless I kill myself or something.
I can't wait to see the 2019 where it's just you. It's just all of your voicemails compiled.
All the worst. Poor bastard.
I hate that guy.
Well, I'm glad someone's doing it.
Yeah, no, this is a good thing. This is a good service he's doing. I appreciate that.
I don't know. Finnegan's doing it. I don't know if it's good.
Yeah, that's like saying Hitler had some good ideas.
Yeah. I mean, we all know that's true, but
at least he's staying productive in jail. You know, getting something done.
Should we let him out of jail because he's doing?
Whoa! No! Bury him under the jail. Put him under the jail.
Nate confirmed can be bought with favors. Clearly,
I just thought it was a nice thing. He's providing value, probably, if the video's good, which I don't know.
In the voice jail? Can we please have a vote? Put Nate in the voice jail. All in favor say I.
Started.
I'm the warden of the voice jail.
Started to work his way. Started to.
Nate has to go to the voice jail.
There can be no mercy.
Jail.
Build another jail around the jail.
All right, sorry, Fennekin, Mozilla. I don't know how to refer to you. You're in jail, and that's all there is to it. Okay. By the way, I actually tried to search YouTube for his Lux Van Levixie. It didn't come up, so I'm guessing it have you guys noticed this? You try to find channels, you use the exact name, and it just doesn't appear. It's just the worst.
If you search for, you can filter your search to only include channels.
Oh my God, really?
That's how. Unfortunately, that's the only way you can find Grimp. Is you search Grimp, but you search for channel. You set the filter to channels.
I guess I'm spelling it wrong. Okay, whatever. I wanted to actually go check this out. If I find it, maybe it'll be the show notes. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Anyway, that's it, people. Better voicemails than Mozilla Fennekin next time, please.
Before you said something that was factually inaccurate on the PCP, because we all know that this is just a pillar of objectivity on the show. So try again,
all there is to it. SpeakPipe, link down below. Give us voice messages. And patreon.com/theprocrastinators. $5. You get the bonus episodes by the time you hear this.
Hey,
I think,
you know what?
Will a new one be out?
Real quick proposition, Nate. I think we should do this before the voicemails. And I don't know if you've listened to Dick Masterson does this on his show. Who Are These Podcasts started doing it as well, where they have the ending of the show and then they do voicemails. Like they'll play an outro. They say all their all the plugs and everything. Then they do voicemails, just because so many people hate voicemails that
I feel like people love the voicemails. They're everyone's favorite part. Am I wrong?
I mean, it really depends on the person. I mean, I don't know how people feel on this show. Initially, it seemed like there were a lot of people who had bigger problems with the voicemails.
Get a straw poll in the show notes. Let's find out.
I just want to know, because these shows are long as shit, and I know when people see 3 hours, it's just oh my God, how long is this going to be? But if we had an outro before the voicemails, it would just make people who didn't want to sit for 3 hours just feel oh, I can go now,
I hear you, and I'm sympathetic to that, and I want to do things if that's people are more likely to listen through that. That's good. But, will a half an hour make that much difference if it's 3 hours anyway?
It's usually an hour, bro. Yeah, it's pretty long.
Okay, oh, you might be right.
Let us know in the comments. What do you think of this idea?
Okay, yeah, let us know. I'm open to it.
Although anybody who made it far enough to hear me say that clearly listens to the full episode.
Oh shit, you're right. That's a bad skew of the people listening. Okay, anyway, so by the time you hear this, people, new bonus episode won't be out, but it'll be out 2 days from when you hear this, and it's a good one. We did fun things. That's the 29th bonus episode. You get all of them if you are a patron of $5 or more.
Wait, is that the most recent one?
Yeah, the most recent one.
We should say what it is so people want to go fucking do it, watch it.
Okay, all right, fine. I don't know if teasing or telling him is better, but what it is me, Tom, Ben, and Gib all played Quake 3 like Rad-Con 3, guys. We played it.
It was just like that thing.
It was just like that thing. We had a great time.
We did the thing. We based the thing on.
It was really, really fucking funny.
Wait,
and
who
please,
won?
It was a lot of fun.
To find out, you have to watch the episode. To find out, you have to pay $5 and watch the fucking episode. So go do that.
Will I redeem myself after my embarrassingly poor performance at Rad-Con 3 Arena?
Going by the tone of your voice,
so stupid.
You can find out for the low price of $5 on patreon.com/theprocrastinators. $1, you get into the patron chat. It's a good time on Discord. Do it up. And that's it. Give us more money.
This is the last time you're going to hear Munchie's voice for a while, so see you later,
yeah, we'll
PCP
see.
audience.
He'll come crawling back.
Yeah.
He'll be back. He'll cry.
I'll
All right.
come back as soon as I can.
All right. Sounds good. All right. See you next time, everybody. Bye. All right, let's sing because Munchie joined late.
Yep.
Okay, let's say sing on the count of 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, sing. One more time. 1, 2, 3, sing.
Sing.
Okay.
Oh, thank God that's over.
Myself, I'm sucking. I am an asshole. I am a stupid. No more than one people and no more than 10 minutes.